How would you like to be the Michigan Wolverines? Right now, they're probably 2 plays away from being the #1 team in the country. And do you like your odds in this one against Colorado? This is one of the plays. There's the receiver down there. All you've got to do is defend one play.
Well, I like my odds. 64 yards on defense against Cordell Stewart, or now maybe Nestler. I didn't know he had that kind of an arm. But on offense against Penn State, they're in a Rose Bowl drive, last drive, and they only have to go this far in 2 downs.
And they didn't pick up the first time.
I still think I should have thrown it.
No, I've seen your arm. You know, you got to credit Gary Moeller, though. His team's still number 11 in the country, 5-2.
Well, I think that's where the credit goes. Last year, they had a tough loss here against Illinois, and they kind of went in the dumper against Wisconsin. This year, Gary Moeller has kept his team together, and I really think it's the senior leadership. Guys like Steve Morrison and Todd Collins that kept this team focused.
And another senior will be healthy and play today, and that's Tyrone Wheatley, although Tim Biakabatuka will not due to an injury. Brent Moss, though, back for Wisconsin. He's ready to go. So are we. Wisconsin and Michigan. We've got it coming up later. Right now, let's head down to Florida and Mike Adamley.
Brad and Gary.
I don't know if I was being born.
Hey, early again. House in Ann Arbor, where today the Michigan Wolverines look for some payback. 1 year ago, the site was Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. And for the University of Wisconsin, the euphoria of a win over Michigan on their way to Pasadena. But '94 has been a season full of disappointment and pain for the Badgers. They're still California dreaming at Michigan, where only close losses to national powers have blemished the heroic moments. And now, heading into the stretch run, there are still Rose Bowl hopes alive. No better way to celebrate the beginning of the Halloween weekend than to have homecoming at the University of Michigan. The 98th homecoming in school history, and the opponent coming in from Madison, Wisconsin. The Badgers get set for the 11th-ranked Wolverines of Michigan. As you look at the Big Ten standings, Wisconsin in an unfamiliar spot for them in 5th place at 2-2-1, but Michigan still with hope. They know if they take care of business today, they may get some help from their friends at Ohio State against Penn State later on this afternoon. And hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nestler with Gary Danielson. Welcome to Ann Arbor. Different spot and a different story from a year ago, Gary. This time last year we were in Madison. Wisconsin was winning. They're on their way to the Rose Bowl. Now they've had a ton of injuries this year, and they're just hoping to get to a bowl game.
Well, they've really played themselves into position now where these last 4 games, and especially starting today at Michigan, where the schedule is against them. You know, that with only 3 wins on their side of the win column, they either have to beat Michigan or Ohio State and then take care of Cincinnati and Illinois at home, or they're not going to have enough victories to end up in any bowl after going to the bowl game the Rose Bowl last year. And the real reason, I think, is inopportune turnovers. You know, wrong guys playing at the wrong time. Jason Burns fumbles here against Purdue. I really believe that Wisconsin has given away 3 wins with turnovers. And if you look at their statistics, plus 14 a year ago when they went to the Rose Bowl, minus 6 now. Brad, that's a difference of 20 turnovers. Bevel is back. He's not 100%. Moss will play today, and that's a big difference in the football team.
They desperately need him. They missed him the last couple of weeks. With Moss back, he's one of the best in the business, and that puts the pressure on Michigan's defense.
Well, it really does, and that's the defensive end that had to make a change. Lloyd Carr told us that he was not happy with Michigan's defense, especially against Penn State. Poor tackling. He shook it up, found other guys to play. They did well against Illinois last week, held them to 40 yards rushing, but really I think the key to this defense is their linebacker, Butkus candidate Steve Morrison. He's a senior. He's brought the leadership forward on this football team. If you watch him throughout the football game, he has a way of finding the football. One of the best playing college football.
You know, on the injury side of things for Michigan, Tamanga Biakabatuka won't play, but Tyrone Wheatley's as healthy as he's maybe been all season long. It's not as healthy in Madison, Wisconsin as it was this time last year. With more on that is Adrian Karsten.
Brad, I remember about a year ago when Wisconsin was beginning to make their run for the Roses. It wasn't hard to pick up any paper in the state of Wisconsin and find the Badger football team on the front page. Well, after the loss to Minnesota, Badger fans looking for a feature on a homecoming victory. Look at this. They had to settle for the soccer team on the front page instead of the Badgers. For the first time, the football team, that is, for the first time in 2 years, the Badger football team was booed. But remember, we're talking about a team that still ranks number 5 in the nation in rushing, still one of the country's top teams in total offense. Brett, watching these guys warm up down here, I get the impression Barry has these guys believing they can really knock off the number 11 team in the nation. That would be front page news. Chasing the rest of the headlines today in college football is Mike Tirico back in our studios. Mike?
All right, Adrian, one of the great signs is the maize and blue. Come under that Go Blue sign in Ann Arbor. We'll be watching great stories throughout the day in college football. Keep it right here as you watch Wisconsin and Michigan. 14th in the nation in passing efficiency. Taking on the Badgers, and kickoff is next.
My dandruff.
You can't ask for more than this in late October in this part of the country. 61 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. There is a chance of showers, probably not till the game's over. Sunshine right now on a fast track. Barry Alvarez, National Coach of the Year last season with a 10-1-1 year and a win over UCLA in the Rose Bowl. And he was a dejected coach without a doubt this week by what's transpired in the past couple of weeks in his 5th season at Wisconsin. A club that at the beginning of the year, he says, without a doubt, we were in the top 10. Here's a club that's been in the top 10 or very close to it all year. Gary Muller's Michigan Wolverines, ranked 11th coming in, and have but 2 losses. And those losses, of course, the last-second desperation toss by Cordell Stewart in the setback to the Buffaloes of Colorado, and then a tough game and a good one and a 7-point setback to top-ranked Penn State. Michigan will get the football first. And that means John Hall, one of the biggest weapons maybe in college football, which sounds strange, but he kicks them so deep that there are very few chances for return by the opposition. Seth Smith and Mercury Hayes, right and left on your screen, back deep for Michigan. Wisconsin won the toss and deferred, and they've got some fans in from Madison hoping for an upset.
How could you tell?
The Badgers 3-3-1. Michigan 5-2. And still holding out to some Rose Bowl hopes if they can get some help from Ohio State later. The kick, a deep one. It does go to Hayes, 5 yards deep. He decides to bring it out, and it was not a good decision. Got to the 11 and is swarmed under there. And again, the deep kickoffs preventing a very good return. Todd Collins will bring his troops out for the Dodge starting lineups. First for the Wolverines of Michigan. Todd Collins had his best rushing game ever last week. Ty Wheatley and Shea Foster joined him in the Michigan backfield. Amani Toomer, a big play man, but Jay Remersma, 5 catches for 62 yards, 3 in key situations last week. And Mercury Hayes, they're the 3 receivers. And up front, Thomas Gines, a guy that switched all over the line, settled in at right tackle now with Marinero, Payne, Runyon, and Jenkins. And for Michigan, a first down inside its own 12-yard line, and Collins wants to go on top. Lofts it over the middle to Tyrone Wheatley. Wheatley up to the 15, got 3 or 4 before Chris Hine made the stop defensively. For the Wisconsin defense, Brian Jurowitz, an outside linebacker last year, now making his 3rd start at that left tackle spot with Monecki and Thompson. Eric Unverzat inside at 10 tackles a year ago against Michigan. He and Pete Monty excellent inside. Hine and Sala are the outside men. They missed Jeff Messenger badly against Minnesota last week. He was out with an injury. He's got 14 career interceptions. Brown, Brady, and Gales round out the Wisconsin secondary. And second down and 7 for Michigan. And they'll go to Wheatley on the ground this time. And Ty maybe got a yard. And that's about it. Eric Unverzat and Pete Monty there to stop him.
Well, Wisconsin has played steady defense all year. You know, as strong as Colorado's offense is running the ball, Wisconsin held Salam to less than 100 yards early in the year in a game that really got out of hand. So this is a good run defense. I think the challenge for the Wisconsin defense, can they hold up in pass coverage?
They'll probably see a pass here. We'll wait to find out. 3rd down and 5. Opening drive of the ball game for the Wolverines. Collins scrambles, and he's tripped from behind. Tarek Sala came from the outside to shoestring it, and Collins short of the first down, and it's 3 and out for Michigan.
Well, Collins had 60 yards rushing last week against Illinois, and he's been trying to step up in the pocket, but give the credit to the Wisconsin pass coverage. They were in a zone. No one really open to throw to.
So enter the punt team. Greg Baker's numbers on the year. They've got 10 men up and Keith Jackson back. Jackson moving up near midfield, anticipating a shorter kick. Almost got that kick blocked. Flag's going to go down. Wisconsin will be penalized for hitting the punter. And on the other end is Jackson, who finds some open field and would have the ball at the 42-yard line with an 18-yard return.
Well, I tell you, Kenny Gales could get shot by one of his coaches because they did not even have a block on. He was trying to go behind the punter, runs into him, and they're going to give Michigan the ball back.
And it looked like he just stuck a wing out there. He didn't have to touch him.
Coming from the left side, the bottom of your screen, Kenny Gales is just trying to play safe to the outside, making sure the punter punts the ball in rhythm. Watch him try to go behind, sticks his right arm out, and boy, that's just a nonsense foul, and that's going to set up Michigan with the ball back. And I'm sure Barry Alvarez is saying those are the types of things that are happening to this football team this year that did not happen a year ago, and why we're in trouble for a bowl game.
Automatic first down. Gales comes back to play defense, knowing full well that that mistake cost his club the football.
Well, it probably was Brad just running into the punter, but it was less than 5 yards that gave him the first down.
From the first down out across the 24-yard line. Cooper in motion, the tight end. Wheatley. Nice cut back to the middle. Jason Manecki got a hand on him first, and Wheatley picked up 5. It'll be second down at 5, and Tyrone Wheatley on the year when he's in there, he's pretty tough. Over 5 a carry and 7 touchdowns. And remember that shoulder separation in the preseason kept him out of the early part of the year.
Don't really believe Ty Wheatley has ever been 100% healthy this whole season. Early he was hurt, obviously. I don't know if he was quite in shape beginning of the year, and now he's had probably the hip pointer and been a little sick. Really haven't seen him shoot Ty Wheatley all year.
Second and 5 from the 30, Michigan. Collins looks left, now comes back, wanted the man in the middle, and scrambles for his life. Now he picks up some blockers. A lot of room in front. He'll tuck it away. He'll pick up the first down, and he'll put a head down at the 40. No hook slide there. Unverzat is the man he ran into.
Kind of a misread. I'm wondering if this wasn't an audible call. They were trying to go throw the ball short, and Todd Collins can't get hurt for this football team. They do not have much experience at the quarterback position. You see his eyes are left. He's trying to throw an out to his left, but only 2 receivers out on this play. That's why he doesn't have anyone to throw to, and while he's got pretty good ability to scramble around, but you can scramble all you want. When there's only 2 guys to throw to, you're in trouble. Now let's see if he doesn't get a late shot here just as he's going out of bounds. Yeah, very clean though, very clean, but right on the hip.
Yep.
And not very many guys wear hip pads nowadays, and you know, if that's a hip pointer, it will get worse and worse as the game goes on. We'll have to watch it.
Unverzat put a helmet right on that spot. The 41-yard line is the spot. First down, Michigan. Little draw play to Wheatley.
I'll tell you, he's hurting too. Todd Collins going to have to keep a real close eye on that, because I've had those hip pointers before. It starts out like a little bit bruised, and after a while, as the game goes on, it will really become more painful as the blood goes into that area. I guess that's what it is. I don't, you know. Hey.
You used to have a hip pointer, now you just give me pointers all the time.
Here it is. Unverzat's going to come from the left side, very clean, puts his helmet right on the left hip as he knocks him out of bounds, and boy, that is not good news. And Todd Collins, you can see he's almost out of breath, and that's exactly the instincts that you have in that play and what it feels like.
Second down and 8.
He had a tough time making handoff on that play.
Got it to Wheatley, but it did take so long. They gave Mike Thompson plenty of time to stretch it out and make the tackle for Wisconsin.
I think he's going to come out of the game. He can't play.
And wow, what a blow for the Michigan offense if that's the case. He's trying to hang in there, and you just know that they do have Jason Carr warming up on the sidelines.
Jason Carr is backup quarterback, the son of defensive coordinator Lloyd Carr. You can tell as he really has to lumber to get out and make this play right here. This is a stretch play where the quarterback has to go out there, and boy, that hurts even to stretch out from back here to hand off that ball. Look for some type of a screen play or a draw play here. I'm sure the Michigan coaches can see that Todd Collins is struggling.
He drops back to throw. It'll be the first time since that hit. And they fake the draw. He throws across the middle. Reamersma, the tight end, made the tackle, but he's all wrapped up by Donnie Brady, and he's well short of the first down. They got about 6 yards. It'll be 4th and 4.
And he comes limping off. The one guy that the Michigan people knows they cannot afford to lose is Todd Collins. he may be 2 plays away from being the top candidate for the Heisman, namely the long pass by Cordell Stewart and that Penn State first down.
Certainly led the dramatic come-from-behind drive against Notre Dame. Baker's punt, not a good one at all. Jackson's going to have to let it go. Bounces out of bounds at the 24-yard line. So Wisconsin gets it back, and they'll have it on offense when we come back.
Okay, 2 series, 2 great jobs, man. Let's keep
like the new Dodge, and by Pizza Hut, where America is falling in love with pizza.
Burton Memorial Tower here in Ann Arbor. Inside Michigan Stadium, Wisconsin set to take over offensively for the first time. We're just 5 minutes into the game, no score, and Michigan starting signal caller in a great deal of pain. On the 24, the Wisconsin offense might get a free 5. Zenkowitz looked like he jumped offside. Bevel back to throw down the middle and not even close to the intended receiver, Tony Simmons. Let's take a look at the Wisconsin offense. Brent Moss, 2 games out with an injury back. He's got 16 straight games of 100+. Bevel and Johnson join him in the backfield. That last pass was intended for Tony Simmons, making his first start in for Reggie Torian, who's out with an injury. Simmons is a big play guy, though. Dawkins and Roan round out the receiving core. Up front, they want to get some youth in there, some youthful enthusiasm. Jamie Vanderveld, heavily recruited by Michigan. They say we'll give it to him. Once Raymer Rudolph and Verstegen round out the Wisconsin front wall. 2nd down and 10. And the Gibbs to Moss off the right side. Brent Moss looking like Brent Moss on that carry across the 30 out to the 31. That's where the Michigan defense brings him down. Tony Henderson, some question is whether or not he was going to start due to an injury. He's in there at the nose with Zenkowitz and Horn. Last year, Jared Irons was inexperienced and raw. Now he is rock solid with Morrison inside, Waldrop and Dyson the outside backers. And they made some changes in the secondary that Gary talked about last week to help against the run. With Ernest Sanders in there, an excellent tackler at the strong safety, that helps. Thompson, Law, and Noble round out the Michigan secondary. 3rd down and 3, Wisconsin. And a sprint draw to Moss, hit in the backfield and brought down. Great play defensively by Trent Zenkowitz.
That's bread and butter play number 1 for Wisconsin, and Zenkowitz came in and made the play. But really, Brad, the story of this football game right now is Todd Collins and whether he can go.
We'll be finding out after a punt coming up from Wisconsin.
Watching Brent Moss, he looks to be pretty good, but you know, Darrell Bevel, both of his throw really died on him. I don't think he's close to 100% throwing the ball.
Sam Veit to punt, and Amani Toomer is back deep for Michigan. He took 172 yards to help the win against Illinois last week. He's going to clear out and not touch this one. And it'll roll to a stop inside the 20-yard line, down around the 19. Let's check in with Mike Tirico.
All right, before we check if Todd Collins is coming back, Danny Cannell in Florida State against unbeaten Duke. First drive, right down the field, 6 yards to Andre Cooper. Mowry missed the extra point. Noles by 6.
Problems kicking at Florida State. Problems with the quarterback here. Gary, he's so close to passing out, it's not even funny.
Brad, I had it happen to me. I got to tell you, it starts out, we think it's just a bruise, it'll go away, and it really gives you a headache. You break out into a sweat when you have one of those hip pointers. I just have to believe he took one right on the hip. There it is, left hip, an early scramble. Unverzat's going to come in, put his helmet right on the left hip, and you will notice most of the modern-day players do not wear hip guards.
Jason Carr in at quarterback for Michigan. And on the first play, flags all over. Carr was going one way, the back was going the other, and Ron Winter is our referee. And so Michigan in a worse hole now.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Let's get it down to Adrian Karsten.
Brad, Todd Collins is out indefinitely. Interesting situation Gary Danielson described as far as those hip pads are concerned. He put on a lighter set of hip pads, very, very thin, because he wanted greater speed in this game and greater mobility. I can already see an abrasion on his left side, the injury actually on his hip and just to the inside where he has no protection at all.
Talk about a guy in some pain. Here's a handoff. Wheatley almost dropped it. And now with a new quarterback, you've got a new center quarterback exchange. You've got him handing off differently to the backs. It's a whole different setup for Michigan now, Gary.
And Wisconsin's defensive backfield is going to take a step forward because they're going to have to say, Jason Carr, can you prove you can do it to us? because with Todd Collins in the game, it's a whole different setup for Wisconsin. I think you'll see more blitzing from their defensive secondary, and now all eyes will be on Ty Wheatley because that's the guy they got to stop.
You saw Jason Carr's career statistics. Seasonally, 0 for 3 passing the football. And he's got second down at 15 right here. Both his wideouts to the left side. He looks that way and way short of Amani Toomer.
Tough position for anyone to come into this type of a game when Todd Collins has played so much. One of the tough things about playing a big-time schedule is you don't get to use your backups. This ball is about a 35-yard throw, wide open. He threw it 30 yards. You can see Jason Carr has to really struggle to get this ball out. And remember, he's saying, I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to get a big turnover early, so he's really guiding the ball.
3rd and 15.
Again, you got to think of your defensively, screen and draw.
Reaversman in motion. Carr looking left the whole way. Goes out there. It's intercepted by Messenger. Down the sideline is Jeff Messenger. And again, the pass too short for the intended receiver in Wisconsin has an interception and a 21-yard return.
Well, Michigan should have been thinking screen and draw, I think, on this play inside Wisconsin. When you throw the ball in the area of all Big Ten Jeff Messenger, you're going to get a potential interception if you don't throw a great pass. At the end of this play that we haven't seen, I think there was a clip called, so it's going to come back. But Jason Carr steps into this throw. The problem is he's throwing directly into double coverage. The ball hangs a minute. You can see Messenger step inside of Mercury Hayes. Hayes comes back and does a good job of stripping the ball almost, but to the left of the screen, you couldn't say that Wisconsin
illegal block below the waist after the change of possession by the return team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
But of course, it doesn't change the outcome of the interception, only where the ball will be spotted. So Messenger's 15th career interception moves into the number 2 spot all time. Just past Scott Nelson with that one. And that's his 3rd interception in the last 4 games.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that has been injured too, and one of the all Big Ten players that he hasn't had, speaking of Barry Alvarez, at his disposal all year.
Todd Collins is heading to the locker room. And heading there very slowly, as you see.
It appears like he only has 1 hip guard on him, if you ask me. That's on the wrong side.
Brent Moss up the middle to the 25. He got 3. Ran into Steve Morrison.
Well, there's the game that Michigan was supposed to be looking at and rooting for Ohio State, but right now they got their hands full. And you can feel the momentum shift to the Wisconsin side as they're going to cart Todd Collins off. Now, he could go and get some little bit of help in the locker room and might be able to return, but I would doubt it.
What a shot of adrenaline it is for Wisconsin on the road, banged up themselves most of the season, and now they've really got life knowing that Collins is out. Moss, left side, leans to the 21. Erwin Waldrop out there to make the hit. It's going to be about 3 yards more for Wisconsin's offense to pick up a first down.
When talking to Lloyd Carr about his defensive team, he said he was most disappointed in the Penn State game because we did not tackle well, tackle like a Michigan team. Made some changes in the secondary, kind of put it back on the guys saying we have to tackle better. That's going to be a key in this game. When Brent Moss has the ball, you have to tackle.
3rd down, 3. Wisconsin at the Michigan 21-yard line. Bevel fires out complete. Out of the backfield was Ron Johnson, the fullback, and he's got it to the 13-yard line. First down, Badgers.
When Darrell Bevel is healthy, there's nobody better in college football at throwing for the first down chains. He takes what's available to him and throws it. When you've got an injured quarterback, sometimes it's best to challenge him and come at him, make him throw off balance. That time, Michigan dropped into a zone, and Bevel will eat up a Michigan defense that drops into a deep zone by throwing to the first down markers and picking up first downs. Looks to me like he's about 70%. He's not the Darrell Bevel we saw last year.
Dawkins and Zula as wideouts. They will go to Moss up the middle. Brent Moss inside the 10. Dyson and Sanders make the stop. Wisconsin, when they get inside the 20-yard line, 3rd in the Big Ten in their efficiency down in that area. There's their numbers: 34 possessions, 24 touchdowns, and a couple of field goals. They've also had some turnovers down there that's really helped to kill them, including last week deep in Minnesota territory.
They like to throw the ball to Roan in this area of the field also.
2nd and 4. Michigan comes with a blitz. Moss takes it outside, trying to cut back inside, and ran into Clarence Thompson, who is as sure a tackler from a secondary as you maybe find. Just a sophomore. He's really come on this year.
He really has, and that's why he's playing the free safety spot. When it's strong safety, you can line him up to the tight end side, and he'll make a lot of plays. But when you line him up in the middle of the field, Thompson can make plays on both sides, and that type of speed and coming up in there and wrapping up guys, he is going to be an all Big Ten safety before he leaves Michigan. Quite an athlete.
3rd down at 2. Nyquist comes in as a second tight end. Moss and Johnson behind Bevel. Moss again, same way. Cuts back, he won't get there. Not back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
No push inside, and then Matt Dyson was able to run around his block and come in and make the play. That's surprising because Michigan, you have to give them credit. That is still a powerful offensive line that Wisconsin will line up there. They went away from their all Big Ten players, though, and went to their sophomore side, and it did not work out for them.
Schnetsky's going to come in with a field goal.
Remember, they missed a couple against Minnesota last week.
Darrell Bevel to hold. A 22-yard field goal attempt. Schnetsky hit 2 huge ones last week in Wisconsin against Michigan, and he's got this one. So the Badgers, after the turnover, the interception by Messenger leads to 3 points and a 3-point lead.
With the only V8 offered in its class, Dakota Club Cab has more. More horsepower. More maximum payload. More room inside. 15 cubic feet more than Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Oh yeah, and it also tows more. Dakota Club Cab. A little bigger, a lot better. At America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
We asked these women what they think about the new Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut. Wow, they love it! New Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut. A little basil, oregano, and a touch of garlic baked right in for a pizza crust like you've never tasted before.
Calmati, Rosalia. Che ne stai facendo uno spettacolo?
For $8.99, any second medium, $5 more. To enjoy a delicious Sicilian-style pizza at home, call Pizza Hut Delivery today.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell, no odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Sinus sufferers, how come you're...
Wisconsin out in front here on a Schnetsky field goal of 22 yards. 3-0 Badgers.
That was a real big stop by the Michigan defense, though. I think that will help get the Michigan team started in this football game because something good had to happen because they are really struggling now with the loss of Todd Collins.
See where John Hall puts this kick. This guy's become a cult figure at Camp Randall Stadium. Every time Wisconsin kicks off, everybody gets on their feet just to see how far he can kick it.
It's like batting practice and guys that get in the left field stands to get the balls.
Now he's got the tee upside down. I'm going to try something a little different.
That's cool.
The idiosyncrasies of kickers.
He's got the football right side up.
He's got the laces away.
There you go.
You can read it. If he does kick it short, Seth Smith and Mercury Hayes await. And this one is short. Seth Smith's going to have a chance from the goal line. And he found himself some room. Hall to beat. Smith beats the kicker, and now the sideline. Seth Smith's going to take it 100 yards. Touchdown, Michigan. Smith, 4.35 speed, and he shows it when he got the corner, Gary.
Well, a wide receiver on offense, but there was talk that we might see Ty Wheatley returning kickoffs this game. Seth Smith gets his opportunity, and once he gets his momentum going forward and his balance, there's nobody on the Wisconsin team's going to catch him. Again, another huge play. When you've got a quarterback, you put points on the board. Jason Carr might be happier than Seth Smith right now.
Remy Hamilton, point after. In one quick move, Michigan takes the lead, but not 7 points. Hamilton misses the extra point. It was wide left. 6-3 Wolverines.
The Green Bay Packers and the
Seth Smith with a Michigan record kickoff return, 100 yards for a touchdown. And the longest in the Big Ten since 1988 has put the Wolverines in front 6-3. They did miss the extra point, however.
Well, they needed something last week against Illinois, although I thought Michigan's offense played well. They did not score a touchdown. They only had a punt return by Amani Toomer to break up that football game. So now without Todd Collins so far in this football game, return teams again, putting Michigan in a position to maybe survive another week.
Kickoff coming up from Hamilton. Terrell Fletcher and Keith Jackson will go back deep for the Wisconsin Badgers. Short kick. Take a fair catch maybe. Nope. They'll take it from the 25. And almost breaking free, Donald Hayes. He gets out near the 40-yard line. Let's head into Mike Tirico. Mike.
First score in Lincoln. Nebraska is dominating Colorado early. The first down total is Nebraska 7, Colorado none. Same true for the score after Corey Schlesinger, the fullback, his third touchdown run of the season.
Here it's number 11 Michigan in front.
Kind of had a feeling about that game. We were talking about it, that everything has kind of gone right for Colorado so far, and you just got to wonder if it always goes right for you.
Doesn't go right in Lincoln for them very often. First and 10, Wisconsin from their own 39-yard line. Bevel on first down. Over the middle, got it to J.C. Dawkins. And Dawkins near the 45-yard line. J.C. is the top receiver as far as number of catches. Comes in, that's his 17th of the year. He's a senior who last year was more productive because on the other side was Lee DeRamus, of course, and that's one of the guys that Wisconsin has missed all season long.
Yeah, and I think another guy kind of hidden in the loss for Wisconsin this year has been Mark Montgomery, their outstanding receiving fullback a year ago, too.
On second down, it's Fletcher just checked in. Terrell gets close to the first down, out near the 48-yard line. Tyrone Noble from the secondary made the stop. Fletcher, 116 yards per game rushing, and that puts him 17th in the country, those numbers. And you see second in college football in per carry average, almost 7 every time he handles it.
Yeah, and it's a real 1-2 combination that Gary Moeller said really drives defensive nuts because they run the same plays a little differently. One guy stretches it, one guy cuts it back.
Third down situation for the Badgers today. 3rd and 1. Tight end set. Fletcher airborne. He got it. Landed near the 50 and just had to cross the 49.
A game earlier in the year that we did, Wisconsin against Michigan State. Fletcher had a couple of tough turnovers that I thought really put Michigan State in that football game, and then they kind of finished it off later in that game when they lost Bevel. But
he had a great game statistically, except the fumbles.
Except the fumbles, and that's been the difference of this football team. I think a year ago they finished the year at a +6. Right now, they finished at a -6. +14 last year, and now they're at a -6 already.
First down from midfield. Bevel getting pressure from Dyson. He goes to that vacated spot to Fletcher on the screen. And Terrell Fletcher does the rest behind a couple of good blocks. And he got about 8 yards before Deion Johnson made the hit. Oh, if you're going to get a guy coming storming around from the outside to put pressure on, I guess it's good to throw right over the top of him.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I talked to Brad Childress, the offensive coordinator, before the game down on the field, and I asked him, what would you like to do? And he said, I want to keep it mixed up and loose the whole game. Want to throw the ball short. I'm going to just give him the entire package. And you can see right now, as you look at Brad Childress, to the right side of the two coaches, next to Bernie Wyatt on the left.
The one with the mustache.
You got it. I was going to say something else, but you said it nicely.
Fletcher stopped for a loss that time. Jared Irons came knifing in. And it's going to bring up another third down situation for Wisconsin.
Well, Irons and Morrison, the two inside linebackers, the guys that make the plays for this Michigan defense. It has always been that way for the Michigan defense. The inside linebackers all the way back have made the plays. Guys like Eric Anderson, and, now we got Irons and Morrison. These are the guys that funnel the plays to them, and they have to make tackles.
Third down and 4 for the Badgers. Whoops, looked like Irons is offsides. Bevel might have a free play, threw it away anyway over the head of J.C. Dawkins. But again, it looked as though Irons coming out of blitz got his foot in the neutral zone. We'll wait and see.
You could tell Michigan changed up this time. Last time they were in a soft zone on 3rd and short. This time they clamped on the receivers and brought the inside linebackers just a bit early, though.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty, assessed in the previous spot. Results in a first down.
Lloyd Carr, knowing his defense gave up a free one there. First down for Wisconsin.
Barry Alvarez, when we talked to him this week in our phone conference call, was as down as I could remember after 3 years of seeing him. And, once you get up there, the slide back down is tough.
Play action, Bevel throws to an open man is Roan, the tight end. And Roan cuts back across the 30 and down to the 25-yard line. 14 yards to Roan, who's having another sensational year.
Brad, you had the perfect call that time. Brad Childress called a strong safety blitz and an outside linebacker blitz, and you run the naked play right into it. Coming from the right side of your screen, you'll see two Michigan guys come, 17 Thompson and Dyson. There's the drop-off. If you had a hot receiver, that's who you'd want to go to in the play. If you had him called as your primary receiver, can't call it any better than that.
Second time it's worked this drive. The screen earlier, and now that one picks up a first down at the 25. Here's a counter, and Moss takes it right up the middle. They had a trap going, and Brent Moss took it right where the crease was on the inside, and he got about 9 yards. Chuck Winters made the tackle.
Still don't think Brent Moss looks like the guy we saw at the end of last year. I mean, he probably might be 85%. He doesn't appear to have that battering type running style that he had before, but pretty effective.
Trying to get warmed up. The quarter has warmed up and closed with Michigan thanks to a kickoff return, leading 6-3.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
It had to be you.
Maybe it's the way it drives like a car, or that it exceeds 1998 car safety standards, or the fact that it gives you more choices than any other minivan. Dodge Caravan, the best-selling minivan of all time. No wonder so many people buy it, and so many companies try to copy it.
It had to be you, a wonderful you. It had to be you.
Ready for the big game?
Yes. Are you ready for a 2-all beef Titan, my friend?
Thank you, Mr. Curbside Service.
No mention it, Mr. Big Mac.
Special sauce superstar, lettuce cheese champ.
Mm-hmm.
Right now at McDonald's, you can convert 2 ordinary dollars into 2 huge, irresistible Big Macs. It's our $2 conversion. 2 Big Macs or 2 hot, fresh Egg McMuffins for just $2.
2 for $2?
Oh, where's my other Big Mac? Mr. Fake Handoff.
All right, it's right
What
here.
you want is what you get. Mr. Hamburglar.
McDonald's today.
Everybody needs some money sometime. Everybody needs some cash on hand.
When you need money fast,
hello, Dad?
Count on Western Union. We send more money to more people in more places in the U.S. and around the world than anyone else.
Something in my heart just told me sometime is now.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
Nestler, Gary Danielson, and Adrian Karsten back at Michigan Stadium, where the Wolverines, thanks to a touchdown on a kickoff return, have the lead starting the second quarter. But Wisconsin on a drive that's carried them 8 plays Down to the Michigan 17-yard line where it's 2nd down and 2. And again, Michigan may have jumped. They'll whistle this one dead. Moss on the carry. Looked like Jason Horn that time hopped in and offsides.
And that's the big difference in this defense right now, I believe. Tony Henderson had a little bit of a stinger problem. Will not play much in this football game. Horn, Denson, and Zenkowitz will be most of the game, the front three. A little bit of a changeup for the Michigan defense. It does not look like Tony Henderson's going to be available.
Defense, prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty. Results in a...
You'll see Jason, I think it's Irons right here, is going to tap Jason Horn to move over into an adjustment. That was just an adjustment for lineup. That wasn't a motion to go in there and tackle the quarterback when you tap him right there.
It shows you the strength of Irons, how that tap sent him right into the slot.
A little bit of a
first down.
A little bit of a difference though, playing nose tackle as far as defensive tackle.
From the 12. Moss outside and he swarmed under, and Horn's part of the reason. Horn helping on the tackle. Damon Denson there too. Let's check in with Adrian right now.
Brad, the defensive line for Michigan knows that the Badgers love to go to Mike Rohn down in this territory in the red zone. They've been told keep him on the line. Do not let him off the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 11 now as you see Rohn come up to the line. The wideouts are Dawkins and Simmons. But it's a 2nd and long situation. Fletcher in there now with the Wisconsin backfield. Ron Johnson was in motion. Bevel to the end zone to Simmons. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
You know, I think they could just keep throwing the ball to that guy.
That's his 6th touchdown catch of the year, and he doesn't play that much.
Right, he's only had 11 passes thrown his way. We talked to Barry Alvarez about it, and he says, well, sometimes he gets confused. I said, heck, confused, throw him the ball. A little bit of a post fake. There it is. Perfect throw by Darrell Bevel that time. Tony Simmons again. Comes in on a post, goes back to the corner, and the ball was right there by Bevel.
Schnetsky comes in for the point after. Darrell Bevel to hold. Bevel in that drive, 5 of 6, 5 different receivers. Schnetsky, and he just barely tucked it in on the extra point. A little bit of a trouble with our extra point kicks today. As Gary mentioned, Barry Alvarez said, we don't always know if he's going to run the right pattern. But boy, when he does, look out for number 82.
Absolutely. You see Bevel right here. He knows he's got kind of man-to-man coverage. The corner of the end zone is open. He just puts it right in there, right between Clarence Thompson and Tyrone Noble. Man-to-man coverage inside. Knows he's got a position to throw the ball to the corner, and you can't throw it any better than that. That's decent coverage, really. If you throw it that well, you're going to get rewarded with a touchdown.
Touchdown, Tony. And the cheer goes up for number 10. And hail to Michigan. The fight song comes up despite a Wisconsin touchdown because Todd Collins is back out.
Well, if you're running out from the locker room, it's hard to pick a spot when the fight song's not playing here. You can leave about any time and run on with the fight song going. I'll tell you, you go into that locker room, sometimes you can come back out and play.
Let's go to Adrian.
Brad, as he went into the locker room about 10 minutes ago, Jason Horn was told by Moeller, you're going the rest of the way. Collins jogged right past me now, headed to the other side of the field. What they have done with that hip pointer has put a heavier pair of hip pads on him, usually worn by a linebacker.
He's strapping them in right now.
Well, Adrian, with all due respect, the hip pads may help him with the next shot, but it didn't help many with the shot before. I don't, you know, there's some reason why he came out running better than he did before, and maybe we can get something on that. That is an injury that does sometimes get shot.
And he looks like he's all set to come back out to lead the Michigan offense as John Hall will kick. I think John's got the win this time. He should knock this one out of the end zone. Nope. Not quite. Picked up by Chris Floyd.
Actually, Brad, the wind is right to left when I was down there earlier, so I don't know if that was on design or not, but he doesn't appear to be getting as much distance here. It's the altitude. It's, you know,
gotta be.
You know, Wisconsin's way up there in the mountains. It goes a lot.
So Collins will bring out the Michigan offense. Excellent field position for the Wolverines outside their own 36-yard line.
And I think Jason Carr is still going to go out and play.
Another look at the hit by Unverzat on Collins. You'll see his momentum's not going the right direction either. He takes it while he tried to get out of bounds. He took a pretty good shot from Unverzat. And Michigan with a first down. Tar is in there, and Wheatley runs smack dab into Chris Hine. Wheatley picked up 3 or 4.
I'm watching on the sideline, and Todd Collins wants very much to get back in this football game. He was ready and in the huddle to go on the football field, and Gary Moeller sent back out Jason Carr to play, and he was very upset about that. Perhaps, as you can see, they're going to try to find more pads before they put him out there.
More padding in there than there is in a Victoria's Secret catalog. Second down and 9. Wheatley, Ty Wheatley breaks loose, cuts outside. He's short of a first down thanks to a nice open field tackle. Donnie Brady and Kenny Gales slowed him down. I thought he was off to the races.
Well, there are some guys in this field that can run the ball with some speed, and Ty Wheatley is the fastest guy out here, but we saw Tony Simmons before. He's got some speed too, both track guys. But we saw Wheatley on film against Penn State. When he turns the corner, there's nobody going to catch him, so you just keep plugging away with him up the middle. Sooner or later he'll sprint one to the end zone.
Got a third and a yard. 3 tight end set at the 45-yard line. Wheatley again, and this time the power of Wheatley. Pete Monty holding on for dear life as Wheatley takes it to the 48-yard line. You wonder, you see the power, and Gary talked about speed. How fast is Tyrone Wheatley? How about good enough to be the 93 outdoor track champion in the 110 high hurdles? Reggie Torian of Wisconsin out of this game with a hamstring injury. He's a wide receiver, supposed to be one of the fastest guys Wisconsin has, and he was 500th behind Wheatley in the high hurdles. That tells you how fast he is.
We talked to Ty Wheatley Thursday night and asked him if he was going to run track this year, and his eyes just lit up, and he says, yes, I would like to run track this spring.
He'd like to run in Atlanta in '96, I think. Here he is again with a cutback, and he got inside the 45 near the 44-yard line. Unverzat got a low hit to help take him off his pins. So Collins chomping on the bit on the sideline to get back in the game, but right now Michigan doing it on the ground.
Here's John Runyon, the guard technique for Michigan. Watch how he backs up, finds the hole, and goes back in and block. It's called the horn technique. Colorado uses it a lot, but you see it's like a draw blocking technique by the guards. They look for the bubble after the ball is snapped, find it. It's almost like having a fullback leading, only Runyon is 300 pounds.
More like Paul Bunyan than Runyon. 2nd and 6, so they're just going to keep it on the ground. This is Davis now with a little stutter step inside down near the 40-yard line. They've got 3 tight ends in there, Gary, and they're telling Wisconsin, we don't have our normal quarterback in there. We're going to give it to Davis and Wheatley. Stop us if you can.
Yeah, you're right. And without Biakabatuka in this football game, Davis is getting an opportunity. Had a good football game last week versus Illinois. He started out the year rotating with Biakabatuka. But you'll see Carr, he almost fumbles the snap on this counter play, and then he bumps into the lineman. Again, the exchange was poor. Get out of the way of Runyon. He's 300 pounds, Jason.
Take your head with him. 3rd and short. Davis again cuts back, and he's got a first down at the Wisconsin 35-yard line. Unverzat made the tackle. Help from Jamel Brown, but Ed Davis back-to-back cutbacks right in the middle. He had a nice game against Wisconsin last year, 69 yards on 16 carries.
There's Timmy Biakabatuka, Kamunga Biakabatuka, as he prefers it. He's got a little bit of a knee problem, will not play in this football game at all, and he is a special talent.
Nice to have some depth in the backfield. Ed Davis helps the cause, and he stays in there. 7th play of the Michigan drive, and it's a first down. Just under 11 minutes to go, first half. The toss this time to Davis. And Wisconsin's got that one red. Tarek Saleh, he just keeps getting better every week, it seems. Just a sophomore, 6'3", 220. But he has excellent speed at that outside linebacker position.
He really does, Brad. And he's a player that plays with his hand down almost in a 4-3 position, and he's undersized at that position. So he has to fight off a lot of guys that weigh maybe 30, 40, 50 pounds more than him. And that time with his speed and quickness kind of ducked up into it and made the play.
College of Letters and Science. That's what you graduated in, isn't it?
Yeah, I got letters, and I searched around for the science building.
The 2nd down and 10. At the 35. Davis 2 or 3. That's about it. And Manecki is going to get off the bottom of the pile, and Jurowitz as well from the defensive line spots.
Anybody has any hip pads or any type of pads, please take them down to the Michigan sideline, because Todd Collins is still being outfitted with pads. There they go.
He's going to look like RoboCop by the time he gets out there.
New belt, new pads.
At the 32-yard line, meanwhile, it's 3rd and 7. And remember, Jason Carr hasn't put one in the air since the one he threw to Jeff Messenger of Wisconsin.
It is a position where they like to screen.
Carr with time. Over the middle, and a great catch by Riemersma. And it's a first down, Michigan. That's what he did last week. He had 3 catches in the final time-consuming drive alone in the win over Illinois, and he made a great catch there.
Well, the emergence of the tight end has really changed the passing attack for Michigan. You'll see Jason Carr drop back. Pretty good coverage on Riemersma this time. Kind of a bust in the route, but watch him lay out that time. That is a nice catch. Good throw by Jason Carr, and I'm sure Carr is really happy to get rid of that last interception, and now his next at-bat is a completion for a first down to the tight end.
Riemersma, the ex-quarterback, and he's turned into quite a tight end. About 30 pounds heavier than last year, and he's a big part of this Michigan offense. Ty Wheatley now. Wheatley inside the 15. Tyrone, touchdown. That's why you would just have loved to have seen him healthy all year long.
Well, there's no doubt he's a special talent. A little bit of an off-tackle play from the left side of your screen. You're going to see Jeff Messenger. He runs through a couple tackles there. Messenger comes up, misjudges his angle with the speed by Wheatley. A lot of people do that because he's so big and ends up only getting about a half a foot, and that's not enough to bring down Wheatley.
Hamilton in for the point after. Missed his first one. This one's right through the middle. 8 minutes and 47 seconds remaining in the half. Tyrone Wheatley's 48th career Michigan touchdown has the Wolverines back in front by 3.
State Farm presents.
In Ann Arbor, Michigan at homecoming leads Wisconsin 13-10. 8:47 left in the half, and Ty Wheatley capped off a 64-yard drive. The 10th play of that drive was his 24-yard touchdown run.
It was a beautiful run. Remember, I think the key play of the drive, though, the quarterback, Jason Carr, came through and hit that first down pass to Riemersma.
Yep.
That was a big catch by Riemersma, but when you got a backup guy in there, you got to come up with some plays like that.
And this kick's going to go out of bounds, and that'll give Wisconsin nice field position out at the 35-yard line. As Hamilton's kick, either by design, I don't think he designed it to go out of bounds. He might have been trying to get it to the corner.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. The option is to take the ball at the 35-yard line. First down.
Which Wisconsin will do, and we'll send it to Mike Tirico. Mike.
Brad, 2 for 1 now. Let's start in the Big 8. 3rd and goal, Nebraska. They try to option up 7-0. Danelle Liamidi, good stop. They have to settle for a 24-yard field goal. Huskers lead 10-0. Meantime, in the SEC, Auburn leads the nation in turnover margin, but a mistake by quarterback Patrick Nix. The nose guard for Arkansas, Junior Soley, a 51-yard lumbering return. The Hogs and Jordan-Hare lead by 7.
Boy, would Berman have fun with that one. Wow. Bumbling, rumbling, stumbling, all that stuff. Here it's 13-10, Michigan. And it's Terrell Fletcher for about 3. Ran into Damon Denson.
Damon Denson did a good job that time, subbing in there for Henderson. Takes on a kind of a wham block from the side that you really don't see. Perry is right here. He's going to come in and get whammed from the side. Takes it, wipes it off with one arm. Strong play, comes in to make the tackle. That's great defense by Damon Denson, who's in the game because Tony Henderson isn't playing.
Nyquist has got to be saying, hey, that was a pretty decent block. How'd that guy make the hit?
Got a little bit too inside to get his head on the other side on that block.
2nd down and 7. Fletcher again, same way, and same result. He got less on that one, about 1.5 yards. And who else? Denson again.
Damon Denson is from the Pittsburgh area. Really thought he was going to go to Pitt, all coming up. Got recruited by Michigan, made his decision to go here, and obviously he's coming in there and playing some football now.
And this looks like the passing situation upcoming for Darrell Bevel. 3rd down and 5. Bevel very efficient. Remember on the touchdown drive by Wisconsin the last time they had the ball.
Michigan into their nickel.
Simmons in motion. He has the touchdown catch today. Over the middle. Dawkins couldn't hold it. It was thrown a little bit behind him. Clarence Thompson was giving him some footsteps, but Bevel was a little bit off the mark with that throw.
Absolutely. That was a first down. If that ball had been thrown to the front side of Dawkins, he would have picked up the first down. That was the proper throw, just not executed well. Bevel has done a nice job in this football game. Remember, he's playing with an injury a lot of guys would not attempt to play with. 3rd-degree separated shoulder.
Sam White the punt. Amani Toomer is back for Michigan. He might have a shot at this one if it gets a good bounce. Nope, he stays away from it. And it will take a Wisconsin roll all the way down near the 15-yard line. 44-yard kick. Is Todd Collins ready to play quarterback? He's sure itching to. We'll find out when we come back.
For the first time ever, the car that changed everything is having a sale on many of its most popular options. And that can save you a lot of change during the Dodge Intrepid equipment sale.
Badger guts.
We've got some badger meat chili with peppers made by Eddie.
We wrap these badgers up in one of these little bun things and take them out from there. All right.
Yeah. All right. Dearborn sausage, also where Gary Danielson was born. That was just a hot dog the day of that birth.
That's right. That's what we called it.
Let's see if Todd Collins can get Michigan cooking now on offense as he's in there. Davis hurdles one would-be tackler, and he's got a quick 11 yards. First down, and Davis showing some spring in his legs so far in this first half.
Well, the key to this football game has been the blocking up front. We saw a great play by Riemersma in the pass. This time we're going to see him block pretty well. Kind of takes solid to the outside, moves his feet around, stays real wide, and boy, that's a type of tight end. We asked Gary Moeller, how does he block? We know he can catch pretty well. He said he's a good blocker, and I said I know he's a good holder. I said he's a good blocker.
Davis on a little counter. Got a couple. Bottom of the pile, Hine and Monty.
Well, I think you can tell that Gary Moeller has challenged his offensive line. He's said Rod Payne, Runyon, Jenkins, Marinaro, and Sullivan. You are the guys that have to come through in this football game. We're hurting at quarterback. You have to control the line of scrimmage and show that we can make first downs on the ground in this football game. And so far, that has been the difference in the football game. The Michigan offensive line is handling the Wisconsin defensive line.
Collins has not passed since injuring his hip in the first quarter. 2nd down and 8 for the Wolverines. Off play action. Here comes the first pass. Incomplete, intended for Mercury Hayes. It'll be 3rd down after we check in with Mike Tirico.
Brad, I think Duke's yellow brick road just came to the end of the road. Look at number 24. That's Brock Preston of Florida State. That's a little trickery on the 2-point conversion after a Zach Crockett touchdown. Noles by 14, and they have the ball back.
Dukey's trying to earn that ranking, and they got their hands full with the Seminoles. Michigan might have its hands full with this play. 3rd down, a long 8. Just over 6 minutes left in the half. 13-0 Wolverines. Todd Richardson is a 3rd wide receiver. Here comes a blitz on Collins. Fires it out. Unable to hold it is Mercury Hayes. That one floated a little bit, but Hayes probably should have held on to it.
Well, he floated it a little bit because he had to pick out a point to throw the ball to. Jurowitz, and as you said, the blitz put a little bit of pressure on Collins that time. He wasn't able to wait as long as he wanted to. Watch how he drops back. He still seems to be favoring that hip, but he has to pick out a spot and throw it to a spot, and I think the Wisconsin game plan is going to be to hit him.
Baker with a punt. Keith Jackson runs up on it, looks right into the sun, and goes down for about a 2-yard loss. Nice job on the special teams. Getting down there to make the hit is Woodrow Hankins. 5:56 left first half. Packed house. Michigan leads Wisconsin 13-10. We're under 6 minutes. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Adrian Karsten with you on a picture-perfect day in Ann Arbor. Darrell Bevell and the Wisconsin offense back out there trailing by 3. Bevell has 1 touchdown pass so far today. Gonna flare this one out to Terrell Fletcher in some open space. Made a nice move and got up across the 40 before he's crunched by the Michigan defense. Ty Law came up to make the hit.
Again, you can see the game plan that Wisconsin is trying to utilize short passes, trying to keep that Michigan defense spread out. They have not been able to attack the defense up front with big dashing runs that we've seen in the past from the Wisconsin football team. Good job at defense, I think, so far in this game by the Michigan defensive front 7.
Bevell's numbers, that includes the touchdown toss to Simmons. 2nd down and 6. Badgers at their own 41-yard line. Moss, nothing there, bounces outside. Now he's got the 1st and more. And into Michigan's end, and he drags some Wolverine tacklers down to the 41-yard line. 18 yards, and I don't think it was 18 as fast as we'd see Brent normally do it, but he seems to be warming up, Gary.
Yeah, he does, and he reads the play so well. Although this was a design cutback, you'll see to the bottom of the screen right here, Trevor Price is going to take on the pulling guard, runs into the play, but no one gets a hand on Brent Moss. And when you try to bring this guy down with just a hand or grabbing his shirt, not going to happen. That's what makes him such an outstanding player.
Brent goes out. Fletcher comes back in. 1st down, Wisconsin at the Michigan 41-yard line. You're wondering on Moss's numbers as he headed to the sideline. 47 yards on 10 carries so far today. Bevell, play fake, and plenty of time. Across the middle to Fletcher. And he got it to the 36. Deion Johnson is there.
The reason Wisconsin is so effective at moving the chains and making 1st downs is they've sold Darrell Bevell on the fact that he doesn't have to throw the ball downfield every time. When he tries to do that, he gets in trouble. We saw it against Colorado when he threw those 4 interceptions. But if he just takes 1st down and says, I want to get the defense in a position where they're behind the down and distance, they do a good job. So far in this game, he's 5 for 6 on 1st down. That's doing a good job as a quarterback.
2nd down and 5 here. Just over 4 minutes left 1st half. Simmons again in motion across the field. Off play action. He wants to go to Simmons. He'd have to make a heck of an adjustment to catch that one. Coverage back there by Deion Johnson, but it was the pressure on Bevell that forced that throw early.
It was Steve Morrison coming right up the middle on a stunt. But you know what? Darrell Bevell does a nice job this time reading it and just getting the play off. This saves 15 yards just throwing an incomplete pass. He knows that Morrison is coming. He knows he has to throw it to a spot. No one blocks him, gets rid of it, and avoids another separated shoulder. That's pretty good play by Bevell on that one.
Get rid of it and get in the tuck position.
You got it. It's called the fetal position. Please.
Captain comeback, they call Morrison. He's something inside. 3rd down and 5. Biggest play of this drive for Wisconsin. And Bevell's going to call a timeout, knowing that he has a big play at hand and starting to run out of time on getting the play off. So we'll take a timeout as well. 3:58 left in the half. It's Michigan by a field goal. 13-10 Michigan. Just under 4 minutes left in the half. The ball at the 36-yard line of the Wolverines. And a 3rd down and 5 coming for Wisconsin. There's their 3rd down situation so far today, but the average yards to go, you see 3.2. This one's longer than that. 3rd and 5. Keep it on the ground. Fletcher is going to get the 1st down.
Boy, that really crossed up Michigan on that play. Michigan was stunting and moving their guys into a pass rush, and that was a big call for a couple of reasons, I think. It keeps Michigan's offense off the field, and they're so good in that 2-minute drill with Todd Collins, and it keeps Lloyd Carr's defense on the field, obviously, with an opportunity for Wisconsin to still kick a field goal to tie this game up. So it's going to take at least a couple minutes off the clock, barring no turnover.
Biggest run of the day for Fletcher right there. Picked up a 1st down at the 30. Now Moss takes over the Wisconsin backfield. And he'll get the call. Bounced off the 1st tackler, and as Gary said, you better wrap number 33 up. It looked like he was going down at the line of scrimmage, and he picks up 6 yards. Let's pick up Adrian Karsten right now.
So far, the defensive line for Michigan is not doing what you guys have been describing. Their game plan from Greg Madison, the D-line coach, hit Moss low. They don't want to send him to the hospital or knock him out of the game, but take advantage of that ankle that's tightly wrapped there. Hit him low, he'll go down.
That time he didn't go down until he got 6 yards. You're exactly right. The hit was made at the line of scrimmage. But he bounced out, picked up positive yardage, and has it down to the 24-yard line of Michigan. Here's Moss again, this time right side, and he's got another first down. And he's down near the 16-yard line. Wisconsin first down. We'll see what they do after we check in with Mike Tirico.
Well, I told you Duke was in trouble. They get themselves out of some trouble. Florida State's James Colsley back for the punt. Lemar Marshall knocks it free. Tyjon Redmond picks it up and takes it in. The Dukies have 19 yards of offense, but they're within 8.
Those special team points can mean so much. In fact, Michigan has a 100-yard kickoff return for a score today by Seth Smith. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in front as they are right now. First down at the 16-yard line for Wisconsin. Fletcher. A couple. Jared Irons and company in on the hit. Ian Morrison, quite a tandem in there now.
Brad, you know, we talked about Tony Henderson, the Michigan nose tackle, not playing. Jason Horn has drawn the assignment. He's going up against center All-American Corey Raymer. But the previous play, look at what the Wisconsin defense is doing to him. He's getting hit by tight ends, fullbacks. He's going to see every look that a nose tackle can see because he has not had a lot of experience at the position.
Fletcher got a couple. Second down and 8 at the 14. Under 2 minutes in the half. 9th play of the Wisconsin drive. Draw play. Fletcher. Terrell to the 10. Maybe even closer to the 9. Thompson and Irons. You know, the stop. Wisconsin alternating their backs as we saw them do earlier in the year when they were healthy with Moss and Fletcher.
There is no doubt in my mind that Wisconsin, if they were healthy all year, including Doremus, would be a top 10 football team. And I think Gary Moeller knew that going into the game. The Michigan fans and media probably didn't realize that this is a good Wisconsin team when they're healthy.
Third down and 4. Ball just tucked inside the Wolverine 10. Bevel across the middle. Johnson's got it first and goal. That's his second catch of the day out of the backfield. A pickup of 7.
Darrell Bevel is so patient with his passing game. In a way, that separated shoulder is kind of bringing Bevel back to the quarterback that he was a year ago because he doesn't trust and believe his arm can throw downfield. He's taken what's there short. And I don't think you can play zone drops against Wisconsin. I think you have to lock up on men and take away those short throws.
That's not a smile, it's a squint, but it'll turn to a smile if he can get 3 more yards out of his offense here. We're under a minute and a half. Moss back in there. First and goal, Wisconsin. Michigan a man short. Scrambles a body in there. Moss bounces outside. Maybe got a yard. Trevor Price had to come hustling in from the sideline to become the 11th member of the defense for Michigan, and now Wisconsin takes a timeout.
Still plenty of time. Barry was a little upset that he didn't call timeout, but I think Darrell was real calm out there, relaxed. 29 seconds is forever. They still have a timeout left in this first half.
Homecoming in Ann Arbor. That always means that Adrian Karsten is out there doing something special.
Brad, the last time they had a homecoming parade through the streets of downtown Ann Arbor, these guys weren't even born. You guys are a little bit overdressed for the occasion, aren't you?
You can never overdress for a homecoming. It's one-time-year thing. Go Blue, yeah.
Brad, these are the Friars, a male a cappella group, all undergrads here at Michigan. 18 homecoming floats going down to the student union to hear the Violent Femmes.
You know Adrian would be part of that, don't you? He was trying to run for homecoming king yesterday, and he only got a couple of write-in votes.
I liked Adrian's fake nose the best, though, didn't he?
29 seconds left in the half. Wisconsin's entire offense over, huddled around Barry Alvarez. They have 1 timeout left and 29 seconds with which to work. Second and goal at the Michigan 2.
And because it's second and goal with only 1 timeout left, I really think that this is a passing down, because should you get an incompletion, you can come out back on third down with the option of either running or passing.
And if they throw down here, Michael Roan is the guy they love, the tight end number 81. Let's see where he lines up. He'll trot up to the left side. From the 2, Wisconsin looking to regain the lead. They play fake it to Moss, float it out. Dawkins, touchdown.
Really what I think Wisconsin called there was one of their 2-point plays. One of the ones that you would save in the game for a big 2-point play at the end of a game. They ran it there because it was the perfect situation. They had one play to get a touchdown, and hey, you might as well burn it. You get 6 points for this play, only 2 points for a 2-point play. Kind of like a submarine play. I hope we get a good look at it.
Only the second touchdown catch of the year for senior J.C. Dawkins, and you know he's excited about that one. It has put Wisconsin back in front by 3. Schnepsky will try to make it 4, and does. Well-engineered Wisconsin drive. Darrell Bevel with his second touchdown toss of the day with 24 seconds left in the second quarter has given Wisconsin a 17-13 advantage.
Well, because of where the clock situation was right here, you knew this was a passing situation, and you got a quarterback that you trust with the ball. Got some pressure in his face from Zenkowitz. Had kind of lay the ball up, and Dawkins was just inches into the end zone and gets hit by Deion Johnson just as he crosses and then gets out. He caught the ball in the end zone and then pushed out. Here's Dawkins, right? He comes across and snaps the ball right there behind the quarterback. We used to call this a submarine play because you kind of get lost in all the action. Comes out the back end. You see that ball right over the end zone, gets pushed out after he caught the ball and before he went out of bounds in the end zone. Nice play.
We're 24 seconds away from the Domino's Pizza halftime report. Live reports from Lincoln and State College, where Penn State will get ready for Ohio State. A look at the undefeateds and all the scores and highlights from today's college football so far, 24 seconds from now. J.C. Dawkins, the senior out of Racine, Wisconsin, with the 2-yard touchdown toss, caps a 63-yard march in 12 plays, 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Gary, that's a good-looking drive.
It really was, and I think that what they did is control first down, and they did it by Bevel being able to throw. He was 4 for 5 on the drive, passing the ball, and it just reminds me of the offense that they ran a year ago on that drive.
Ball to kick. Remember, Seth Smith's already taken one the distance. They remember that. They're trying to keep it on the ground. This one picked up by Mercury Hayes at the 10. Mercury waits for his blockers and gets out, still on his feet, to the 25.
Well, it looked like, I thought he dropped the ball there for a second, but it must have, I can see him with it, so evidently he didn't.
16 seconds left here in Ann Arbor in the first half. The lead has been seesawing back and forth in this football game.
Well, 16 seconds in Michigan Stadium, no one leaves because Colorado had 14 seconds and 85 yards, and they ended up with a score. So there's not one hot dog being sold right now. Everybody's seeing what Michigan's going to do with it.
Jeff Messenger had an interception off Jason Carr, who came in when Todd Collins was shaken up in the first quarter. That led to a Schnepsky field goal. So Wisconsin drew first blood. And Tyrone Wheatley, as he's doing right now, he had a 24-yard touchdown run earlier in this half, and he's popping up calling timeout with 8 seconds left, 22 more yards, and a mouthful of turf.
Michigan's going to take a timeout now with the idea of throwing the Big Ben play into the end zone. And the only thing I question right now, does Todd Collins have the strength to throw the ball that far? I know with a hip pointer type play, you cannot really crank into those throws. I don't know if he's strong enough to do it.
53 yards away. They have had some big plays already today, including Seth Smith's kickoff return. In fact, a lot of records they've had against Wisconsin. Bush Wolfolk, the longest run of 92. Ron Johnson, 347 yards and 5 touchdowns in 68. Harbaugh, 310-yard passing day, and then the kickoff return came today, right there.
I had to draw that circle twice. I'm a little off here today. I don't know. I think it was the coffee.
It was that hot apple cider you had before the game.
Yeah, you want to set a record, just bring in Wisconsin, Ron.
I guess. Todd Richards, an extra receiver.
I can guarantee you every coach on the Wisconsin sideline is saying, knock it down. Don't intercept it. Knock it down.
Todd Collins, as we were talking about, in the first quarter, injured on this hit from Unverzat to the hip. Went to the locker room, has come back out, and now they'll ask him to gear it up and throw one here in the final play of the half. And
you can see he just could not throw it. That was an out pass to Mercury Hayes.
1 second left. And Hayes takes the hit on top of it at the end of that throw.
Actually, it was a pretty good call. They tried to bait Wisconsin that time into thinking they were going to go to the end zone, and they drug Mercury Hayes to the outside, hoping they could get a 1 second maybe opportunity to kick a field goal.
Yeah. So now we're down to a final tick. 53 yards to go for Michigan. If they do choose to air one out to the 3 wide receivers on the right side. Toomer, Smith, and Hayes on the final play of the half. Collins steps up. This one's going to be intercepted. Unverzat got a deep drop. Now he's looking for a convoy. He made it back to midfield almost. Eric Unverzat on the final play of the half with the interception. And at halftime, Wisconsin, with a late drive in the second quarter, has come back to lead the Michigan Wolverines here in Ann Arbor 17-13 as we send it back to the studio and Mike Tirico.
Okay, Brad, it's been 34 years since Wisconsin has won back-to-back games against Michigan. They're trying to do that, and the second half is ahead. Also, the halftime report, there are 8 unbeaten teams. 3 of them are trailing, including one in Lincoln. Chris, Coach, Craig, they'll dissect what's happened in the first half.
To tell you the truth. Todd Collins, a big story, Gary, in the first half with the injury, and that may have changed the complexion of the game a lot for Michigan in the first half.
Yeah, I guess. Michigan has 17 yards passing at halftime right now, and that was the play of the first half, is Todd Collins getting popped by Unverzat. Had to leave the game. Jason Carr came in, threw an interception early that accounted for 3 points, and really it brought Michigan into a ground game. Wheatley had 63 yards. This was his touchdown run. It's the first touchdown Michigan scored in 2 games with their offense. Of course, they had the 100-yard return with the kickoff by Seth Smith, but I think the story of the game has been Darrell Bevel. He's been able to use his different receivers, and on first down, when Wisconsin's doing well, they do well on first down. So far, they've had 14 first down attempts, 9 of which they've gained 4 yards or more, and that's why they're able to drive the football in this game. Bevel has been very accurate with his passing, and there you see, I think, the surprising statistic. If you would have told me that Michigan would come in at halftime with only 17 yards passing, I would tell you they're in big trouble, and that's the way it's looking at so far. I think the other key is Wisconsin with 16 minutes right here in time of possession. That's one thing that Gary Moeller did not want to have happen, is time of possession going to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin at the beginning of the game won the toss and deferred, so they're going to get the football first this half too. Let's go down to Adrian right now.
Brad, halftime could have come at the worst time for Todd Collins. He went into the locker room really favoring that left side. He's got a lot of pain in there. Now the team trainer had him sit down and rested. Team doctor comes right over, said, get up, keep the thing moving. They told the wide receivers, do not, by all means, shorten your routes. That's exactly what the Wisconsin defensive backs expect you to do and can take advantage of. Don't shorten your routes to compensate for Collins, no matter how good he is performing.
I don't think Todd will be moving too much at the homecoming dance tonight. The kick short again, taken by one of the up men, and that's Dave Lysick, backup linebacker, who took it at about the 28-yard line, picked up 4 or 5, and so Bevel and company will come back out with the lead. And Darrell Bevel, as he did so well a year ago and did early this year before he was injured, mixes it up pretty good, Gary.
He really does. When he's using all his weapons to throw to, his fullback, his tight end, and both wideouts, he's tough to stop. And what he does, you'll notice here, is he throws the ball intermediate routes so well. I think Michigan is going to have to get out of their zone defense and start challenging Bevel with the blitz and man-to-man coverage, or he's going to just pick them apart all day and make first downs.
From the 32-yard line, opening drive, third quarter. Only a yard, maybe not even that, for Brent Moss, Trent Zankowitz, and Jason Horn there to make the hit.
Jason Horn has been forced into playing nose tackle this game because Tony Henderson, their regular starter, was not able to go. He's done a good job facing Corey Raymer in this game, but Wisconsin, as we pointed out in the first half, has given him every look that he could possibly get. This time, he slides in and pushes back the offensive guard this time and makes the play. That's good defense by your nose tackler. They're going to have to get a guy on him quick because he's charging across the line.
Second down and 8 for the Badgers. Simmons in motion. Bevel throws wide open out in the flats. Johnson, but he fell down, and he would have had significant yardage, I think, because the defensive back there, Ernest Sanders, had slipped down as well. But Johnson couldn't keep his footing. That'll bring up a third down in about almost 6.
Again, Brad, Michigan's defense is dropping and giving Darrell Bevel the throws he wants to throw right here. You'll see Michigan defense drop into his zone. Here's the fullback. He's going to come right out here for the easiest throw on the field. Now remember, Bevel's playing with an injury. Look, they're giving him the fullback. That's the guy he wants to throw to anyway.
Third down and a very long 5 coming up. Bevel's third down passing. Pretty good today. Only missed once. They're going to blitz him over the middle. Johnson, did he hold on? He did, but I think he's short of the first down by about one.
Ernest Sanders did a nice job coming up. He's the redshirt freshman who's got into the game playing strong safety now because he's a good hitter. He's going to come up inside linebackers blitz, hot receiver to the fullback, gets rid of it with Steve Morrison in his face again. But watch Sanders come up from the secondary. The help on the play is the guy who saved that from being a first down.
Sam Vite into punt. Amani Toomer back deep. They got close. Vite goes down, no flag. And the ball goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Sam tried a little acting job back there, but didn't draw the flag. Only a 28-yard kick. Let's check in with Adrian.
Brad, of the 4 Wisconsin games we have covered, this was probably the most determined locker room I've been in with the Badgers. Mike Thompson, number 66, up front for the defensive line on Wisconsin, said, look, guys, we got to go after Todd Collins. Beyond that adjustment, really unloading on the guy, whatever pass rush technique they can use, they really believe they can beat Michigan.
This is Thompson, senior, one of the leaders of this group. Defense digs in as Michigan starts at the 31-yard line. Collins wants to throw on the first play of the third quarter and does to Remersma, a tight end across the middle. And Remersma out across the 40-yard line, picked up almost enough for a first down.
Well, you have to admire Todd Collins. I know he's in a lot of pain, and it's only going to get worse as the game goes on. But if he stays in the game and stays active, as Adrian was saying, the doctor said, get up and keep using it. He should be able to finish the game, but I think the Wisconsin game plan will keep hitting him. Send guys at him and hit him.
Second down and short. Less than a yard to go. Wheatley set in the Michigan backfield. Tyrone gets the call, gets the first, gets the high knee lift, and carries Wisconsin Badgers down to the 40-yard line. 20-yard run for Wheatley. Jamel Brown finally playing like a guy on a bronking buck in a rodeo brought him down.
Well, you said it, the high knee lift, and that's what Ty Wheatley and I think Gary Moeller likes best when he runs this way. Kick through the hole like he did that time, make one move, and when he gets an arm tackle around him, he's just so strong driving. Jamel Brown is holding on, hoping that as you said, the rodeo, the whistle will go off or something.
93 yards for Ty Wheatley. Here he comes again. And he lost the ball. Wisconsin's got it. Third Michigan turnover. This is the first time they've fumbled today. They threw a couple interceptions.
Wisconsin is very sure they have the ball. Well, Dan McCarney saying, get off the field.
The official already signaled Wisconsin, so they'll try to unpile them. So right after a big run for a first down, Tyrone Wheatley fumbles.
Coming off to the left side. I don't know who coming from behind. Looks like Mike Juricic. I think Jurowitz from the backside is the guy that forced the play, and I think he fell on the ball also.
Jurowitz came around with a hand and popped it free from behind. The dejected Tyrone Wheatley takes a seat. And Wisconsin takes over.
Wisconsin has been successful because they've been controlling first down. Let's see how they do it in the second half. Wide open again.
Bevel on first down off play action, fires outside. Nice defensive job out there by Deion Johnson. Pass intended for Simmons, and Johnson got a hand in at the last instant.
I can think on that play you could see the arm strength of Darrell Bevel isn't there right now. That ball hung up, and that's why Deion Johnson was able to come up and make the play on Tony Simmons. The ball just hung in the air, does not have the zip. Really kind of funny, both quarterbacks right now playing less than 100%.
And remember, that shoulder was separated by the Cross-State Spartans of Michigan State last season. Wisconsin on the plus side big time on turnovers. This year it has not been the case, but they've closed it up a little bit with a +3 today in that category. And here's Brent Moss. Ernest Sanders makes the stop. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 after we check in with Mike Tirico.
Brad, after the Nebraska defense holds from the 30, Behringer down the line, no option up top. Nobody covered the tight end. Eric Alford, 30-yard score, waiting to kick off. The Huskers by 24.
Wow.
I don't think there's any doubt that if Nebraska holds on and beats Colorado by that type of a score, they're going to vault right past Penn State, who has not played the type of schedule Colorado and Nebraska have, right into first place.
Penn State with a date with the Buckeyes later today. Here, Michigan trying to stay somehow in a Rose Bowl hunt, but they're down to Wisconsin, the defending champions. 17-13. Blitz coming on Bevel. Fires, and again it's knocked down. And that's Ty Law that time on a pass intended for J.C. Dawkins.
Well, Ty Law is the best man-to-man cover guy on this Michigan team. He has said repeatedly he loves to go up against the best receiver man-to-man on the other team. Last year it was Joey Galloway in the Ohio State game. But you can see he runs with his guy, kind of trips up Dawkins, but it's his feet that get caught up for him. He's going for the football, and this is a beautiful play by a very gifted man-to-man player, Ty Law.
He might be one of the best man-to-man people in the entire conference or the country. They just don't test him very often. Toomer stands back at the 20. Amani waits the punt from Sam Veit. Nice kick by Veit. Toomer tracks it at the 15. He's got a Badger waiting for him, and down he goes. Big play on the special teams by Vint Zulo down there to drop Toomer for a 5-yard loss on that punt. With 10 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Ty Wheatley straps it back on. His team trails by 4.
This technology is miraculous. Ever since our head of sales, Curtis...
ESPN's presentation of Big Ten college football is brought to you by Wendy's. After 25 years, quality is still our recipe. And by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Michigan starts in a hole at the 10-yard line. Their worst starting field position of the day as you get a shot from way on the other end. That's how far they've got to go to get it near the Wisconsin goal line. They trail 17-13. In motion. Collins off play action to throw over the middle. Reamersma wide open. And he's got about 21 yards on that one. The ex-quarterback, 3 years of backup quarterback, put 30 pounds on him, teach him how to block, and then he becomes one of the favorite targets for the current quarterback, Todd Collins.
Wisconsin that time was in a deep zone, and all 3 linebackers move up on the play action pass.
With 4 catches today of the 5 completions. He's got a first down for the Wolverines at the 31. Collins fires high, intended for Toomer, who took one of the chops from Messenger.
Well, Amani Toomer has not been able to get his hands on the ball, and when he does, he's exciting with it. Todd Collins looked like he was able to get out of the pocket pretty well. As long as he stays active in this football game, he'll stay in the football game.
He's going to feel pretty bad tomorrow morning, isn't he?
Now, let alone tonight. I wouldn't want to sleep on that baby.
That's where they'll have the extra padding, huh?
Right.
2nd and 10. Wheatley close to 100 yards on the ground, but he fumbled on the last possession, remember? Draw play to Wheatley, and both hands wrapped around the ball, but Jurewitz and company have him wrapped up after a short gain, and it'll bring up 3rd and long. We're under 10 minutes, third quarter. It's Wisconsin 17, Michigan 13. Wisconsin trying to win back-to-back games against the Wolverines, and most people don't do that. Gary Moeller is the kind of guy that does not lose to teams very often 2 times in a row. In fact, he's never lost to the same team twice in consecutive years. And you take a look at the payback and the vengeance, having beaten those guys over the course, and now that question mark still remains down there in the corner. 3rd down and 9. And we got a timeout. Collins looks to his receivers, looked a little confused. He'll take a break. We will too, with 9:15 left in the third. Big 3rd down when we come back. You know, when you come to Ann Arbor, the main stoplight to get to the stadium's right here, and Officer Mike takes over then.
We'd like you to be aware that red is not allowed in the city of Ann Arbor. If you have red on, please take it off now. Thank you. Do not cross anymore, folks.
That Officer Mike, what a kidder, telling the Wisconsin fans to get the red out.
You give a guy a mic, he'll say anything.
Yeah, he should have his own radio show. 3rd down and 9 for Michigan. after taking the timeout. Ball at their own 32-yard line. Davis in motion. Collins across the middle. Wow, what a collision between Mercury Hayes and Donnie Brady. And it's short of a first down for the Wolverines.
Perfect zone drop that time by Wisconsin. They dropped about at the first down marker, let everything happen in front of them, come up and make the tackle. See Todd Collins looking left. That's to check his hot receiver to see if he has to throw hot. Then he looks deep. Nothing there, has to drop it off.
Keith Jackson slips as he crosses the 30 out to about the 32-yard line. That's where Wisconsin will take over on offense. 38-yard punt, short return. Don't forget, coming up later today, third-round coverage of the PGA Tour Championship live from the Olympic Club in San Francisco. It's a culmination of the PGA Tour season and the richest PGA event of the year with a purse of $3 million. Join the top 30 money winners of 94 today, 4 o'clock Eastern. Right after that, the Residents in College Football scoreboard. That's all yet to come here on ESPN. You said you played that course out there, huh?
Yeah, I saw every inch of it.
A little narrow with big trees. So. Bevel gives off to Fletcher. Fletcher waits for his block, snuck behind one and got across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Dyson and Irons made the tackle.
Another thing I've been noticing in this football game, I don't see the quickness out of the backs for Wisconsin that they have normally. Remember, one of the factors in this game, this is not a fast field down here for Michigan. It used to be an AstroTurf field a number of years ago now, but this is the first game on natural turf for Wisconsin this year.
Moss, who was out the last couple of weeks with injuries, working on that 16-game streak of 100 yards or more. Right now, Fletcher into Spellum. Play fake by Bevel. Rolls with his troops and throws finally on the run. Maybe waited a little bit too long. Steve Morrison let Vince Zullo have it. Head high. Adrian?
Brad, keep my eye on number 41, Terrell Fletcher. As Gary says, you're not seeing the speed. Some of that is because the right ankle of Terrell Fletcher was twisted late first quarter. He came back out, admitted to me earlier on, he doesn't have the speed laterally that he did coming into the game.
Those guys are quick in the hole, and when those wheels aren't working quite as well, that takes away a little bit of a dimension to the Wisconsin offense.
Yeah, I think you're seeing the three specialists for Wisconsin, Moss, Bevel, and Fletcher, all playing less than 100% in this game.
And of course, last year on their way to the Rose Bowl, almost no injuries by Wisconsin. It can be a major factor. 3rd and 6.
Comes the blitz.
Nyquist in motion. Bevel goes across the middle to Roan. No to Nyquist. Nyquist went in motion, and then the crossing pattern at 16 yards later, a first down.
Very nice little pass pattern that time, something Wisconsin loves to do, bringing someone across the middle of the field. You'll see Roan right here come out in this way. Nyquist will come in and underneath it. A perfect call against a blitz situation. Roan goes out, gets a little bit of a pick on the play right there. In comes Nyquist, wide open, great man-to-man call.
Probably the best calls they've had today have come against blitzes, and they seem to have had the right thing called.
Well, when you have a quarterback that can recognize those things quickly, you can take advantage of it by calling those type of plays.
First down at the Michigan 48-yard line. Fletcher found an opening, cuts outside, trying to use a stiff arm. Knocked out of bounds, but not before he got 11 more. Sanders and Law pushed him out in front of his teammates on the Wisconsin bench, but Fletcher picks up another Badger first down.
That's the first time I've seen Fletcher use the type of moves that we've seen him the last couple of years, and where he was dancing in the hole and making somebody miss. Michigan's defense has been able to bottle up a very powerful running game for Wisconsin.
Fletcher's only got 36 yards, but that was his niftiest scamper of the day. He had 78 yards and a touchdown last year in the upset over the Wolverines in Madison. Of the 37 now of Michigan. Bevel flares it out. Johnson out of the backfield is fullback. And they've used that play about 3 times today in the same spot effectively. And picked up 6 or 7 yards.
That's really why Johnson is playing in this game. He's the fullback that can catch the ball better than anyone else really in the backfield. And just like Mark Montgomery brought this to the fullback position a year ago, the fullback position for Wisconsin, you have to be able to block and catch the ball coming out of the backfield.
Ron had 5 catches against the Gophers last week, 5 more this week.
He really only has 1 carry for the season.
Second down, long 3. Fletcher hitting the backfield, now trying to improvise. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Damon Denson made the hit.
Denson and Zenkowitz were the guys that ended up with the hit, but Jason Horn, number 94, was the guy who penetrated and really forced Fletcher to come off his initial attack and bounce it to the outside.
Horn leads the Michigan team in sacks with 5. They haven't gotten quite enough pressure on Bevel when they've had to today. Third down and 3. They'd love to pressure him here. 50% for Wisconsin. Here they come on Bevel, and flags all over the place. Intended receiver again was Johnson. Jared Irons let him have it in the back. I'm not so sure Michigan wasn't offside before that play even got going.
Yep, it's going to be an automatic first down. Bevel got him on the long count, and you know, those veteran quarterbacks have a good opportunity to get the guys off with the hard count.
You spent 14 years doing that, haven't you? 14 years drawing people off sides.
Well, whatever you could do, you know.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in a first down.
Bevel's no young guy, though.
No, he's not. He's only 3 months younger than Brett Favre, who starts for the Packers.
I'll give you one better than that. He's older than 4 quarterbacks that are going to start in the NFL this Sunday. Brown for the Giants. I guess Farad for the Redskins.
Right.
Okay, I did my 2.
Rick Meyer.
Rick Meyer and Bledsoe.
There you go. We got them all. Well, he did his job. First down, an automatic one. That's about the 3rd time today that's happened. 7th play of the Wisconsin drive at the 25. Fletcher straight up the middle. Flags down. Fletcher down to the 10. It'll be a 15-yard gain, but we might have a holding call in the backfield.
Boy, that holding call in college football is becoming more and more a bigger part of this game. Colorado, when they played Michigan, had 5 or 6 holding penalties. Last week, Michigan had one. I don't know really who held on this play, but you really can't tell. Not from that look. Pretty good block, I think, that time by that emphasis. And that was not the hold. But Barry Alvarez was irate, and it's from the point of the foul, so it's more than a 10-yard foul. I think that's one of the rules, Brad, that they're going to have to change in college football. It used to be a 15-yard penalty. Now, with the point of the spot foul, it's getting to be almost just as bad or sometimes worse than the 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage.
This backs it all the way up to the 36. 3rd Wisconsin penalty. First one on their offense. And a big one there. And you can tell Barry Alvarez and the rest of the coaches not happy with a holding call on a trap play. Long yardage situation. Fletcher will try it again. Same kind of play. He got about 5. Irons in on the tackle.
Tackled by Jared Irons.
Nebraska stunning Colorado in a shutout so far. Arkansas trying to pull a surprise, and Duke, I guess,
getting ready for basketball.
The ball, the Cinderella ball's over, I guess. I don't know. Michigan State, with all the talk about George Perlis swirling around, leading Indiana. 2nd down and 16 now. Wisconsin leading 17-13. We're under 6 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Bevel loads it and goes long. Man wide open is Simmons. He caught it. Touchdown.
Holy cow.
He overthrew him.
I thought he overthrew him. I really did. Tyrone Noble fell down on the play, but I don't even think if he was up on that play that wouldn't have been another touchdown for Simmons. You know, the game plan that's 7 touchdown passes for this guy. Noble falls down on the play. Simmons is into the end zone, gets it. You only need 1 foot.
What a great grab. He got both of them down.
Actually, he did get both of them down. Perfect pass on a ball that I thought was overthrown.
And the official right on the spot waited, took a look at the divot marks before the chalk, and made a nice call. Touchdown Wisconsin with 31 yards. Schnetsky's extra point is up and good, and Wisconsin trying to shock 11th ranked Michigan in Ann Arbor. And Tony Simmons, touchdown Tony, has his 2nd one today. 24-13 Badgers.
It's
America's #1 selling car. And your Ford dealer's out to keep it that way with the 95 Ford Taurus. With a smoother, more comfortable ride. Great handling that's even better than before. Improved performance, room for 6, V6 power, plus standard dual airbags. And now a brand new look with the Taurus SE. A performer that's loaded with value. And Taurus comes with 2.9% financing for up to 48 months. Drive the 95 Taurus now at your Greater Milwaukee Ford dealer. But hurry, 2.9 financing or $500 cash back on Taurus ends November 2nd.
Not everyone's a morning person, so Security Bank is ready to take your home equity application day.
5 minutes and 35 seconds left, third quarter, and touchdown Tony Simmons has another one. 7 touchdowns on the season. This is his first start, Gary.
Not bad. You're going to get a starting job when you catch that many touchdown passes.
Only 2 guys in Wisconsin history have ever caught more touchdown passes in a single season. Pat Richter, the athletic director, and Al Toon, who was an all-pro with the Jets for years and years, and the #1 receiver all-time in Wisconsin's record book. So Tony's in some nice company now. All got into this one. Mercury Hayes backs up 8 yards deep, won't bring it out.
Let's take one more look. Here's Simmons, and here's Noble. You'll watch towards the end of this play. It's a zone coverage by Michigan, trying to keep the guys in front of them. But just as Simmons makes his move, we can stop it right here. Here's Noble right here down on the ground right here. Now, that's an easy throw, but the ball had already been thrown. Had Bevel known that he was going to fall down, he would not have put that much air under it. That was a great catch on a ball that was thrown, anticipating closer coverage.
Tony Simmons caps off a 68-yard march in 8 plays, 3:08. And now, Michigan, with a quarterback that's gutting it out, playing hurt, is going to have to come from behind. Wheatley. Tyrone got 6 to the 26, and let's go to Mike Tirico.
Brad, all the attention on the Nebraska offense. Their defense is doing the job on 4th and 2. Cordell Stewart stopped by Terry Keneally. Although Colorado's just intercepted, they've got a long way to go in Lincoln.
Boy, did they ever. Michigan's got quite a ways to go now. Down 11. They need a couple of touchdowns. 5 minutes left, third quarter. 3 tight ends set for Todd Collins. On 2nd and 4, he pump fakes. I don't think it was a pump fake. He just pulled it back because he thought it was going to be picked off. He scrambles for maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Manecki and Hine on the hit.
Todd Collins in that situation just looking to try to get back to the line of scrimmage and not get hit on that tender spot again.
3rd down and 2. Michigan needs every conceivable drive to stay alive now. Toomer comes out. Hayes trots in late. Wolverines 3 out of 8 on their 3rd down conversions on the afternoon. Wheatley. He got the first down.
Ball carried by Wheatley.
Ty Wheatley out across the 30 to the 31. Tyrone over 100 yards on the day now. Coming up later in the game, we'll be selecting the Kelly Springfield players of the game. Wheatley certainly in contention. So is Bevel. So is Simmons. The drama will just carry us all the way through the 4th quarter. 4 minutes left in the 3rd. There's Ty Wheatley's numbers, including a 24-yard touchdown run. 1st and 10, Michigan. Collins loads it and goes for Hayes. Hayes makes the adjustment and the catch at the 26-yard line. Collins probably didn't get as much on that as he wanted, but Kenny Gales couldn't find the ball or didn't look for it, and Hayes has a 40-yard catch.
The Wisconsin defense was putting their 8th man near the line of scrimmage. You'll see the strong safety cheating up on the play as they bring 8 guys up. A good play-action phase. Gales is man-to-man. If he can stop it right here. Gales has his back now to the quarterback. He does not see the ball being thrown. Watch Hayes. He sees the ball. Gales does not. He makes the adjustment. Big play.
And a big play they desperately needed. Gobbled up a chunk of yardage. Got him a first down at the 28 of Wisconsin. Collins wants to go on top again. Fires. This one's a perfect pass. Toomer made the catch. And about a 9-yard pickup with forward progress inside the 20. Brady and Pratt in on the tackle. Michigan inside the Wisconsin 20-yard line, and that is the spot, Gary, that they've struggled this year. Gary Moeller really doesn't know the reason for this stat.
Well, it's almost shocking. One of the reasons is they got a pretty good field goal kicker this year.
That's true.
The other is they played, they had 5 of them against Illinois, a very good defense, but he is in an area now inside the 20 that has concerned him, and he says we have to get him in position and score touchdowns, not kick field goals.
Second and short here. They gamble with this play or give it to Wheatley. Thinking about gambling. Now Collins will limp out to get the first down. Took a shot on the other side, but he got it down to the 11-yard line.
Oh, in this position, you're seeing a performance by his 5th-year senior quarterback right now that has to put the game on his shoulders. I think Wisconsin was ready to sell out with 8- and 9-man fronts, saying you're going to have to throw the ball to beat us. This is the passing attack that I thought would give the Wisconsin team a lot of trouble in this game.
And a first down at the 11.
They really don't match up well with the wide receivers, Amani Toomer and Mercury Hayes, but there's not a lot of defenses in college football that match up well with those guys.
They'll stay with a 3 tight end set, and they bring out Todd Richards as a lone wide receiver at the 11. First down for the Wolverines, trailing 24-13. Wheatley cuts back. Down to the 4. Chris Hine, Messenger, holding on for dear life.
Wheatley running with his eyes that time, stretching to the right side and running behind the nose tackle. Blocked by Rod Payne and run into the back side. And when Wheatley is able to turn his shoulders north-south and jump through those holes, he's running with the style that the staff here at Michigan loves to see.
Down to 2 minutes in the third. Second down and 3. Collins has a look at his troops and sets them up at the 5-yard line of Wisconsin. Wheatley, left side. He'll try this time. Stood up nicely. Got a yard, maybe 2. Mike Thompson and Unverzat over there to help on the stop, and it'll bring up third down and about 2 to go.
Wisconsin's got 2 guys down on the field on this play.
Messenger's one of them.
Thompson's the other.
Jeff Messenger flat on his back, and trainers will come out to have a look at the senior safety out of Marionette, Wisconsin, who's already had an interception today. And of course, injuries have been a major problem for Wisconsin this year. Lee DeRamus lost for the year with a broken leg, and he was one of not only their leaders on the field, but kind of a spiritual leader and a guy that seemed to be the link between the offense and the defense chemistry-wise that they haven't had since Joe Panos, the guard, left. Moss out a couple of games. Bevel with the shoulder separation we talked about. Messenger with a thigh problem, and Stark, their long snapper, out as well. And now we'll get another look at what happened to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff kind of got bent by Wheatley. Boom. You run into a guy that weighs 225 pounds, and Messenger is in the 190 range. 5'10", 190, a really good football player, but does not want to take on a guy like Ty Wheatley straight on like that too many times.
As they start to help Jeff up, let's check in with Mike.
Hey, Brad, Colorado, we mentioned a long road to travel. Maybe they're starting to do that. Rashawn Salam, over 100 yards, now 102 on 17 carries, including that 6-yard score. Nebraska, though, returned the kickoff, their own 46.
Rashawn, not a big talker, but he got in the face of the Nebraska defense there a little bit.
Right. This is a situation, and in the past, Gary Moeller has thrown 3rd and short. Kind of hurt him versus Colorado when they only kicked a field goal, and he does like to throw the fade or slant call to the outside. I would run it 2 straight plays here.
But they did it against Illinois, did throw and picked up a key first down last week in a big situation. 3rd down and 2. 9th play of the Michigan drive at the Wisconsin 3-yard line. Here is the throw. The fade to the corner for Hayes. He caught it. No, he didn't. He's out of bounds.
Well, he did catch it. You were right. I really can't believe the Wisconsin player missed the football on that play.
Kenny Gales kind of waved at it, didn't he?
He really did. I thought that ball was interceptable, if that's a word.
It is now.
It hung up there, and I thought Gales was going to pick that baby off.
Well, now you got to go because a field goal doesn't do you any good, really.
Well, it does. You're 11 points behind, but Michigan does not want to tie right here. Gales jumps up, waves at that ball, and you can see Hayes' left leg, the momentum took it out.
Another nice call. It's 4th down. Michigan needs 2 for a first down, 3 for a touchdown. Collins pressured, fires, touchdown! Riemersma.
Couple things happened on this play that was really incredible. What a great job by Wheatley to block Chris Hine on a blitz. A great job by Collins to stay with the play and determine whether he was going to hit the back of the flat or wait for Riemersma. There was only one defender. For an instant, I thought that was going to be intercepted.
And now Michigan will go for 2. Down by 5, go for 2. I guess that would put them within a field goal if they can pick it up. Hayes in motion toward the ball. Collins scans the field. Down he goes. Just did not have the mobility to get away from Chad Cascadden and Brian Jurowitz and company. And a failed 2-point conversion leaves Michigan still trailing by 5.
One more look at that touchdown play. First, watch Wheatley get the block, come from the side. Riemersma comes in. He's got one guy to cover 2 people. He jumps on the back. Riemersma open for the touchdown.
As we talked about, Riemersma 3 years a backup quarterback for the Wolverines. Now a key target for Todd Collins. It's nice to have 2 quarterback minds on the field. Sometimes that's better than 1.
You know, there's some times when you know, he has to be on the same page as me and know where the yard marker is, and you know, we spent a lot of time together as quarterbacks ourselves. You know, when he was a quarterback for 3 years, and you know, he just thinks the same way I do. So it's really an asset for me to have a guy like that on the offensive huddle.
Winning minds think alike. Quarterback hooks up with ex-quarterback on a touchdown toss on 4th down and 2.
Super gutty performance by Todd Collins. Remember that great drive against Notre Dame when he pulled out the game. Thought he had the game in the bag against Colorado when he was just running the clock off, got it stolen. And then he had that final drive against Penn State when they failed to pick up 3rd and inches. I mean, you're looking at a guy who could be thinking about, well, I don't think he'd be thinking about it, but we'd be talking about a Heisman candidate should they won those 2 games. Could they have won those 2 games?
Capped an 80-yard drive and 10 plays with that touchdown pass on 4th down. Hamilton now to kick. Kick it away. Fletcher will flag it down. Terrell almost ran out of real estate. Stops at the 7 and now cuts back to the middle. And got it out across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Going back to that touchdown, we talked about Ty Wheatley's block on the play. You're going to see it coming inside. A great running back has to do more than just fake the ball. This time, Chris Hine comes in. Wheatley takes his feet out from under him. That gives the time for Collins to turn and go the other way and make the play. 2 receivers out there, only 1 defender. Collins has the time to pick out the right guy.
Wisconsin up by 5. Their defense talking it over on the sideline. Their offense on the field at the 25-yard line. Moss out to the 31. Ernest Sanders, the safety, made the tackle.
Ernest Sanders is playing because he's a big hitter in the secondary. Lloyd Carr told us he was very upset with the tackling in the secondary. Michigan made a couple of adjustments. Appears to me that Ernest Sanders has earned his position as a strong safety.
6'3", 205. That'll put a little pop in the tackling back there. Moss got 6, though. It's 2nd down and 4. 26 seconds left. 3rd quarter. Moss again. And ran into traffic at the line of scrimmage, maybe eked a yard out of it. Matt Dyson and Trent Zankowitz in on the stop, and that is going to wind quarter number 3 to a close. So Michigan with a long touchdown drive. That quarter battles back. We've played 3 in Ann Arbor. The Badgers trying to pull an upset, but Michigan is now within 5.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
The gods must be crazy playing with fire, because for the first time ever, they're gonna get burned. An all-new adventure. Hercules and the Circle of Fire. Check your local listings for time and station.
On average, you drive about 500 hours a year. That's like 21 straight days. Days and nights. And that's the reason for the all-new interior of the new Regal for $1995. 21 days. In most imports, that could be like a sentence. In the Buick Regal, it's more like a 3-week vacation.
1-800-COLLECT presents The Wedding.
Ted, do you promise to hold Susan, to cherish her, to squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom, leave the toilet seat down, and to always dial 1-800-COLLECT when calling Susan Collect?
Ted!
I'm a zero dialer, baby. I'm no good for you.
Politeness man.
Champion of courtesy.
His addiction to dialing zero would have put you in the poorhouse, Susan.
Thanks, politeness man.
Remember, ladies, a man who dials 1-800-COLLECT is a man who cares.
We asked these women what they think about the new Sicilian...
Gary Danielson and Adrian Karsten, Brad Nessler with you at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Final 15 minutes, Wisconsin clinging to a 5-point lead, and a big play coming up for the Badgers here. A 3rd down and 2. Collins waiting for another chance, but the defense has to get him the ball back first. They like to throw to Ron Johnson out of the backfield here. They do again. Did he get a first down? I don't know. This one's close.
Ty Law's the guy that came up and made the play. I think he's just a shade short on the play.
So does Ty Law think that. They're going to bring the sticks from the far side.
Darrell Bevel and J.C. Dawkins thinks it's a first down. Ty Law thinks it's short.
We'll find out how straight the field is.
I'll tell you, that's right, how straight they put the lines. The reason is he made it across the down marker to the far side of the field, but the official down markers are to the other side of the field.
We may not get a look at this. Wisconsin says first down. That'll tell us the story, and so does Ron Winter, the referee.
Again, a big play. That time Michigan dropped into the zone. They had a pick play on again, but because it was a zone coverage, Bevel went to a zone outlet pass, which was the fullback into the sideline.
And now who's that? Dyson going out injured? Dyson with a shoulder or elbow problem, something.
I don't think that's Dyson. No, it is. 91. You're right. I'm sorry.
Jeff Poultry comes in to take his spot in the Michigan defensive lineup. First down for the Badgers. Fletcher trying to cut back, and he cut right into Jason Horn and Damon Denson. And we cut away to Mike Tirico. Michael.
Brad, we told you unbeaten Auburn was trailing at home, but in the second half, they go big ball. Patrick Nix, who made a mistake earlier, unloads. Frankie Sanders behind the double coverage, 44 yards, and now Terry's Tigers lead by 3. In South Bend, Ron Paulus injured his ankle, but he's just back in the game. The Irish lead by 3.
Here, Wisconsin, the defending Rose Bowl champions, leading Michigan by 5. We're in the 4th quarter. 2nd down, 11. Wisconsin came in 5th place in the conference and struggling after a couple of losses. They look pretty good today. Bevel over the middle, wide open is Nyquist, the second tight end, and Matt's got it to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Jared Irons involved in another tackle. Zankiewicz lost his head on that one. He was in on the stop, too, and comes up without a helmet. Still looking for it. It's hard to miss one of those helmets. It should be easy to spot.
Yeah. I really thought Nyquist could have taken that pass and just turned upfield and almost got the first down. He tried to make a big play out of nothing, and kind of viewing across the field, the Wisconsin coaches were really upset with what he did after he caught the ball.
And it leaves him with a 3rd and 4. Johnson's caught 6 passes in this instance today, 4 times for first downs. That's Simmons in motion. Bevel. Johnson again. Couldn't hold that one. And that's going to force a punting situation for Wisconsin.
And I'll tell you, it won't be just a matter of time before Michigan puts the block on. Steve Stark, the normal snapper, has not been playing. Dave Anderson is the guy that's been snapping, and I think the velocity of his snaps have been poor. And I think Michigan soon will put the rush on and see if they can challenge it. Mike has been getting off the punch very slow.
Let's take a look from behind Sam. Toomer back deep for Michigan. Let's see how quickly Anderson gets this one back. No pressure on Mike. He kicks. It's going to take a great Wisconsin roll all the way down to the 11, 12-yard line. 47-yard kick, so Sam getting some added distance on the bounce.
Dave Anderson must have heard me. Did a good job on this snap. I thought he got it back very strongly. No problem. Veit has been doing a good job kicking the ball short and letting it roll like a quick kick.
Yep. Coming up tomorrow's week 9 of the NFL. That means game day and prime time. Chris Berman and the gang tomorrow at noon Eastern for ESPN's award-winning NFL game day. Then at 7, it's NFL prime time. Complete highlights and analysis of every game. And check out NFL Prime Monday, too. Theismann, Sims, Jaworski, and the gang really get you ready for some football with Mike Tirico. 7:30 Eastern takes you up to Monday Night Football time. Here it's Saturday afternoon football time. And Michigan trailing needs a touchdown. Wheatley on the first carry, brought down by Brian Jurowitz, who's had another nice game. Jurowitz, this is only his 3rd start of the year at that defensive tackle spot. He was an outside linebacker last year and just a sophomore, and getting better week in and week out.
Yeah, in fact, Jurowitz started the Rose Bowl game as an outside linebacker. So he moved inside one spot. You know, they had pretty good success doing that with Mike Thompson, so that's going to be kind of the norm around. One other note, Brad, Jeff Messenger has not returned. Melvin Tucker, number 17, is back there, and Messenger's other value is getting them in the proper calls in the secondary.
Could have an effect when Michigan gets set to go up on top, which they might hear. Play action by Collins, and he does want to go over the middle and got it in and out of the hands of Hayes. And Mercury maybe should have had another one. He had one earlier that he dropped in that same situation. Let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike.
Here's one that's hung on to. Zebby Lethbridge, the quarterback of Texas Tech, is having a very good day. Another touchdown created, 10 yards to his tight end, Scott Ayler. Lethbridge ran it in for 2. Tech leading Texas by 21 in Lubbock.
There's Jeff Messenger on the sideline. Knocked woozy by tackling Tyrone Wheatley in the last series, and that means Melvin Tucker in there in his spot. 3rd down for Michigan, and 8 to go. 12-14 left in the game. They trail by 5.
Watch Remus.
Blitz picked up. Collins pulls it down, and down he goes. Unverzat and Monty. Pete Monty did a cartwheel to land there. Then Unverzat came in. Or maybe it was Unverzat that did the cartwheel, and Monty cleaned up with a sack.
I think it was Ty Wheatley again going low on Unverzat and caught his leg, and that's how sometimes you get a little bit of an injury. From the right side, you'll see Unverzat, number 47, come in. Is it? Yes, it is Ty Wheatley who catches him right in the thigh bone. His right side gets him. Unverzat in pain comes up and helps on the sack, so he gets a half a sack on the play.
There's Eric Unverzat, and he is a true linebacker. They said, would you change anything about yourself? He could. He said, yeah, I'd have less hair on my back. I mean,
I thought he was going to add a part to that hairstyle he had. That'd be hard, too.
He had a big game against Michigan last year with 10 tackles, helped on that one. Let's get on to Adrian.
It's becoming almost survival time right now. Jeff Messenger, there was a possible concussion as he came off the field. You can see the individual right there hitting the back of his head, but he says, geez, not so hard, guys. Yeah, he just wasn't thinking very clearly after he took a shot in the earlier series.
I asked Jeff how many E's he had in his name, and he came up 1 short. They're going to keep him on the sideline, and now Unverzat comes out. Tough punting situation now for Craig Baker, too. And Wisconsin, knowing that, has everybody up.
He only has a 35-yard average, too, but he does have the wind behind him.
See how his snap is. Hasn't had one blocked this year. Keith Jackson takes it back to the 46-yard line, and now Jackson brings it the other way down near the 40 of Michigan. Great field position for Wisconsin. They've got the ball in the lead when we come back.
Back when we started making
ESPN's presentation of Big Ten college football is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
University of Michigan Student Union welcoming alums back for this homecoming, the 98th homecoming. Michigan wanting to make Wisconsin the victim, but it's not happening right now. 24-19, 11:51 left.
Dad, hold on to the baby. We'll get you on TV. Don't worry about it.
Don't drop that kid. Field position today. Wisconsin has had the better of it by a considerable amount, forcing Michigan to go a long ways. And here, Wisconsin, much better field position. They're at the Michigan 40. Bevel Floats it out. Screen to Fletcher. That one kind of broke down, but Fletcher's going to get some positive yardage anyway. He got about 8 yards down to the 32. And Fletcher comes up, maybe a contact lens stuck or something, or he got poked in the eye, one of the two.
Or both.
Contacts are great until somebody sticks a hand in your face mask and try to rearrange your eyeball a little bit.
And it does appear that Brett Moss may not be real healthy because Roberson is now in the football game, and as Ron Johnson is in there at fullback. Brett Moss is in it, Tim. Perfect.
Got the set with a 2nd down and 1. And it's Moss. Irons holding on, but Brett Moss gets a 1st down.
Let's look at the scoreboard here right now as you look at the scores by quarter. And the 24-19 is kind of unique here because now it's a 5-point game, as we talked about. But I think the whole strategy for Wisconsin has changed now because with a field goal, that gives them an 8-point lead. Had Michigan kicked the extra point and made it a 4-point lead, I think Wisconsin thinks more touchdown. The chart says when you're behind by 5, you go for 2, but I think that chart is more germane if there's maybe 5 minutes left in the game. I would have kicked the extra point if I was bowling.
Moss, just when he got ahead of steam going, Steve Morrison took him the other way. We talked about Morrison, one of the 13 semifinalists for the Butkus Award. He's also one of 15 finalists for Football News Defensive Player of the Year in college ball. Last year he did play in this game. It was like the only game he played with that foot injury he had, where he actually came back and tried to play, and he had 8 tackles against Wisconsin before he just couldn't go on that foot anymore.
I say throw the ball to Tony Simmons.
Well, that's not a bad choice. Tony's in the slot to the right side on 2nd down and 8. He has 2 touchdown catches already today. Over the middle, Dawkins on a crossing pattern. J.C. Dawkins has a 1st down. They tried that one earlier. Bevel threw it behind Dawkins, who couldn't handle it. He threw it behind him again, but he made the catch. 15-yard pickup.
You're right, and if that ball would have caught him in stride, I think he scores with that play. Dawkins is going to cross shallow over the middle of the field. Michigan is in a man-to-man coverage, and it's a bust. I think it was Tyrone Noble, number 42, who was supposed to cover him, but Ty Law had to come across the field and make the play. But that's a bust coverage when you leave a crossing guy in man-to-man coverage 12 yards open on a play.
Gary Alvarez Badgers looking like the Badgers of '93 right now. 24-19, 10:37 left, and threatening again. Brett Moss inside the 10. He's still rolling for yardage. And he's got it to about the 8-yard line. Brent Moss, who's out 2 weeks with that bad ankle. Barry Alvarez calls him Alley Cat. Got a little boy, a son named Cyrus. He said to Brent, you know, what's a big day being a dad? He said the first time he didn't have to wear diapers. We can all relate to that.
He learns fast. Remember when we were talking to Moss and Fletcher and they said the biggest thrill is going on the road to win a game? They couldn't wait to play here in Michigan State.
That's right. They told us that when we were back in Madison. Well, they got the chance, they got the lead, and they can really start to put a serious curtain on Michigan if they score a touchdown now. And Moss takes it down to the 3-yard line, just a little bit short of a 1st down. We'll have a 3rd and about a yard when we come back from Mike Tirico. Mike?
4th-ranked undefeated Auburn in some trouble now in the 3rd quarter after scoring. Arkansas answers right back. Big play, 40 yards. Barry Lunny Jr. to Mike Higgins. Lunny ran it in 3 plays later, and the Hogs lead by 4.
Nice unis.
Suey.
I like those new unis. I think you'll see Wisconsin run the ball left behind Raymer, Rudolph, and Verstegen.
They line it up the 3-yard line of Michigan. They can get a 1st down inside the 2. Moss, left side, as Gary said. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Brent Moss has made it a 30-19 game with the extra point coming up.
Moss made Steve Morrison miss on this play, and that's what you have to do near the goal line. Steve Morrison, you're going to see, comes up. He's got a free shot on Moss, kind of dances out of the hole and goes inside. That's what makes Brent Moss so good. He has those quick feet to avoid one guy and get into the end zone.
Ricky Schnetsky in for the point after. He got it up and good. And now Michigan, knowing that they need 2 touchdowns. Brent Moss, the senior, from 3 yards out. It's 31-19 Badgers.
Here you go.
Ken, I really want to do it. I'm going to take
He just said hi to his little boy right there. His daddy just took it in from 3, 31-19. And Wisconsin, if they win this, would go to 3-2-1 in the conference. Michigan would fall to 3-2. And Wisconsin, as Gary and I said at the top of the broadcast, having to win either this or the Ohio State game and then finish strong to have any kind of chance at a bowl game.
Well, you have to win 6 games to get into a bowl game, and should they run the table, I think Wisconsin's looking at they could end up in the Citrus or the Holiday Bowl, or Michigan could end up in the Citrus or the Holiday. Penn State, I think, is probably a good shot at the. You know what? I know I'm going to the Holiday Bowl. That's all I know.
You're going to San Diego, huh? Here's Hall to kick. Michigan with a lot of scoring to make up and not that much time anymore to do it. Seth Smith, he could help him to get another kick return. He had a 100-yarder earlier. He has a tough one here where he banged off about 6 Badgers and did get it across the 35-yard line.
This game is far from over, though, I'll tell you. And Michigan is going to get a 15-yard really, really silly penalty here.
Down there mixing it up, Steve King. Safety, no flag.
And I think that's a good call by the officials right there. Is a no call in that situation. Guys just shoving everybody around, and I thought for sure that Michigan was going to get called for an unnecessary roughness penalty, but they're just going to tee it up, and Collins has got 9 minutes to resurrect the comeback, and it'll be fun to watch.
Best starting field position, and that's a good time to have it for Gary Moeller's troops. Gary, I got to think they got to get Amani Toomer in the ball game here somehow pretty soon.
Yeah, they got to get him the ball. You're exactly right. He's has been really taken away by the Wisconsin defense. Big defense though here. Remember, Jeff Messenger's not in the game.
That's right. Collins on first down. Look out. Salah's got it. Salah later, huh?
Yeah, I think Trezell Jenkins, number 77, slipped and fell, or there was a complete bust in the blocking assignments. Runyon and Jenkins are having words with each other, and Payne had to separate them. You'll see at the end of the line, they see him close down. Trezell Jenkins closes down, leaves Salah go completely free, and I think Runyon turned and said something to Jenkins, and that was a complete bust on the left side of the Michigan line.
Something they didn't need that's backed them up now. 7 more yards. 2nd down and 17. Toomer and Richards come out to the left side. Hayes to the top of your screen. Here comes a blitz. Collins got away. Flags down. We're going to have a holding call, and Todd Collins on a bad hit trying to outrun Jason Manecki. And everything's breaking down for Michigan when they definitely don't need it. With 8 minutes and 8 seconds left, it is holding on the Wolverines.
And I think in that situation, now remember, this holding will be point of the hold foul.
That's going to put them way back inside the 10.
I would have to think about this of taking it. I saw the Wisconsin coaches at first saying decline it, but I would take them back. It's such a big penalty. Watch where the penalty occurs. It's going to be a blitz to the outside. Riemersma's the guy that's going to hold. I think it's Hine to the outside. Right there is the hold on the 19-yard line. So that means the ball goes all the way back to the 10-yard line on that play, or 9-yard line. That's a huge penalty.
We saw Barry Alvarez, as Gary said, pointing the finger, take it, take it, take it. And they walk it off down and spot it at about the 8-yard line.
See, and that's really how tough that penalty is. That's a 21-yard penalty on a play.
That's a killer.
Before, holding penalty was deemed to be too severe when it used to be a 15-yard penalty. Now they get a 21-yard penalty. You have to take that penalty.
And up to the line comes Michigan with a 2nd and 38. There just aren't that many plays in the playbook for a 2nd and 38. They have adjusted. It should have been the 9-yard line, and they had it at the 8. They just moved it to the 9.
Maybe somebody will give them Cordell Stewart's play.
Oh, they could use that rocket left thing right now, huh? Collins looking left. Comes to his safety valve, Riemersma. Riemersma, nice move to get around a couple of blockers, and he battles his way out near the 19-yard line. Nice job by Riemersma, who was just called for holding, trying to make up for it with that catch and run. And he's got 6 catches today for 57 yards.
Wisconsin's playing down and distance now. You'll see him drop in a very deep zone coverage on this play and allow Todd Collins to throw to the tight end. You'll see the drop. Here's the open area to the outside of the field. That's what they're going to give Collins, and that's where he's forced to throw the ball. Make it happen in front of you, come up and make the tackle. Now, they could have tackled a little bit better, but still, the right type of defense in that situation. It's 3rd and, what, help me, 25, 27 yards.
There you go.
It all looks the same after 15.
Collins. Intercepted by Unverzad, his second of the day. Intended for Toomer. They did want to get Amani involved with a big play, but instead, the junior linebacker's got his second pick of the afternoon.
Again, a deep drop zone, and Todd Collins went for it this time. He's going to get rushed from the backside from Sala, but tries to loop it over the linebacker.
That's a great catch.
Unverzad, that's an athletic play. You're right. He stops it with one hand and catches it with the other.
You could see Toomer crossing. You thought,
right
well, this
behind.
is a completion, but Unverzad had different thoughts.
You know, the bad part about that is even if that ball is completed, it would not have been for a first down.
Collins takes another shot, too, from Sala as he let go of the ball. Lost a yard. And let's check in with Mike Tirico with an update. Mike?
Well, Brad, the way things are going, we could have 6 of the top 21 lose here in the next hour or so, including BYU in some trouble. Jake Plummer, 36 yards to Parnell Charles. Arizona State leads BYU 10-0. The battle for number 1 in 1AA in the Big Sky in Missoula. The home team leads by 14. Brad.
Remember, for Wisconsin, Brad, is they were in a position to put the game away against Purdue and fumbled the ball and gave Purdue a field goal late in that football game. A field goal would be huge right now, plus no turnover, take some time off the clock.
Brett Moss. Jared Irons had him wrapped up, it looked like, and then Moss slipped away to pick up extra yardage. Todd Collins, they have fixed everything on him today. It's like Dr. Frankenstein's down there putting butterflies on his chin, trying to put this creature back together.
That's 3.
There's 4.
There's 4. There's 5.
That's a lot of butterflies. That's a whole botanical garden full or something.
Oh, that's only a 5, but oh, there's 6. And there's 7.
Should put like a big one on there or something to hold them in place.
Itty bitty butterfly. There's 8. And one more and he gets to play hockey.
3rd down and 9. Not going to risk a pass. Fletcher cuts outside. Flags down as Wisconsin, I think, guilty of a hold. And Fletcher would have the first down if they don't bring this back. But I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Another huge play. But in this instance, I really think the hold helped the first down. Ron Johnson, number 22, is the guy that got the hold that time on Trevor Price. And it's one of those plays where you say the holding costs us the first down. Well, not really. The holding helped you get the first down in the first place on this one. You know, a field goal puts it to a 15-point game, forcing Michigan into 2 scores and 2 two-point plays. 12 points is still within reason for Michigan to come back and win the game. That's why they're taking it out of field goal range right now.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 3rd down.
And now let's see if Barry Alvarez and his offensive coordinator, Brad Childress, decide to put the ball up after that penalty.
Yeah, it's number 22 is going to hold on the inside right there on Trevor Price. That's what made the play in the first place. Ron Johnson on the hold, so you really can't get too upset by the holding call now.
3rd and 21. You'd think if they do throw, they try to play it safe and pick up enough yardage to maybe try a field goal. Bevel flushed across the middle, too low for Fletcher, and it's incomplete. That was there, but Bevel backpedaling thanks to Jared Irons on the rush.
Actually, that's a big incompletion because obviously it would not pick up the first down, but what it would do is take another 40 seconds off the clock had he completed that play in that situation. That's why I thought we might get a draw in that situation.
Bring out Sam Veit.
Yeah, no, I think Michigan has to try to go for the block here, too.
Well, last time Dave Anderson had a nice clean snap. And Wisconsin's ready. Michigan wasn't out there with any kind of defense. And here's a little pooch. Flags down. And the ball rolling down near the 5-yard line. That's a strange looking one. Wisconsin say, hey, we're ready to go. Snap the ball to Veit. He just does a little pooch punt down to the 6-yard line, and Michigan didn't have anybody on the field.
Yeah, and they were lined up off sides. It's not that they didn't have enough guys, but they had guys on the other line of side of the scrimmage too. This is a real interesting call right here now. That's a pretty good punt down to the 5-yard line.
That's a 48-yard field goal try, though, too, if you want to try that.
Well,
if that's going to be the call, we'll let the officials huddle.
This is a tough one because Hall is capable of making that field goal and putting the game pretty much out of reach.
Exactly.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. On the defense, 12 men participated. The penalty's offset.
Offsetting penalties. So we'll probably just do it all again. And Michigan better hustle or the same thing will happen. That's what the fans are rustling about right now.
I really thought they had enough guys on the line of scrimmage that time. I think the formation might have confused the referees, but I really thought they were correct.
The lack of anybody out there playing defense maybe threw them off.
Remember, they had the ball on the 5-yard line. This could be a big turnaround.
See if Mike can do it again. Well, he hits about the same spot. Only this time, Toomer's going to scoop it. It's still only about a 5-yard difference, as Michigan will be at the 10-yard line, 90 yards away from one of 2 needed touchdowns to get back in this game. Annual Mud Bowl will be played. And SAE and the Fidel's going at it there. And I don't know, those are cheerleaders or players.
I'll tell you, I saw her wearing a mouth guard. That's a rough game when one of your cheerleaders wear a mouth guard, so she's got to be a player.
Todd Collins, who was shaken up in the first quarter on a tough hip pointer type of hit, went into the locker room, came out, and now he's got to try to lead his troops to 2 touchdowns here in the last 5 minutes. Reamersma across the middle. Another catch for him, his 7th of the day. Let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike.
Brad, playing seesaw most of the day there in Ann Arbor. They're playing seesaw on the plains of Alabama. Auburn, after losing the lead, Stephen Davis, a 13-yard carry there, helps get it close. He now has 146 yards, and Auburn has taken the lead over Arkansas.
Oh, they're yelling War Eagle in that one. We would love to play hail to the victors here, but it's going to take a lot of doing. Todd Richards with a catch, and it's good enough for a first down. His first catch of the day out to the 34-yard line. Let's check in with Adrian.
Brad, Todd Collins may not be able to throw more than 10, 15 yards at a crack. He took a shot to his right elbow. You can see a big pad on the right side of his body there, his right elbow. He may not be able to throw deep.
It's an elbow that he had hurt the week before against Illinois.
Blitz coming. They give it off to Wheatley. On a draw, Ty Wheatley. He got 12 out to the 46. Time a major factor, obviously. They'll stop the clock to move the sticks. Michigan going with their hurry-up offense with 4:22 left.
What's really key here is Michigan has been catching the ball inside the field of play, but all 3 plays have been for first down so far in this drive, so they haven't taken a lot of time off the clock.
Michigan used one of its timeouts earlier, too, so they're down to 2. Collins on a first down. Thought about Reamersma again. Still may go to him. Now he's going to just take it out of bounds. Unverzat came over and did not let him have it that time on the right hip. Would have been a carbon copy of the first quarter.
He looked like a big-time wrestler that time with his hands coming back out of it. I didn't touch him. Didn't touch him.
So Todd gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 4:06. So a nice chunk of yardage picked up by Michigan as they have moved it 39 yards here in a bat of an eye with a couple of passes. Wheatley's run and Collins scramble out to the 49.
Again, that extra point that Michigan didn't get when they went for 2 makes this a 12-point game instead of 11-point game, where a 3-point, a field goal and a 2-point play after a touchdown could tie it. So they need 2 touchdowns now.
Collins again goes Reamersma. He breaks away and he picks up 14 or 15 yards. Career high day for Jay Reamersma, the junior. He's got 8 catches this afternoon for 79 yards and a touchdown.
He came into the game with 21 catches and has caught 8 so far in this football game, and he probably will have to catch 4 more for them to win. Michigan has an illegal formation right now.
No flag. Collins throws. Hayes had slipped, came back for the ball, made a nice adjustment. Mercury Hayes slipped on his cutout there, and the ball was already in the air, and he hustled back, caught it, pick up a 13.
A little bit of mistake this time by the officials. Did not catch that Michigan did not have enough men at the line of scrimmage.
Collins will come over and talk things over. We got a timeout. 3:43 left.
Sports fans, you've seen the bet. Now, Marv Albert.
That, by the way, was a Wisconsin timeout. They just wanted to get their defensive troops gathered for a thought-sharing process, as Michigan has done on the sideline as well around Gary Moeller. It's a first down Michigan when play resumes at the 27-yard line of Wisconsin. And that's defensive coordinator Dan McCarney. He's tried to give his guys a little bit of a breather.
Let's take one more look. You're going to see right here. Here's Mercury Hayes. Here's Jay Remersma. One of those two guys have to be up on the line of scrimmage. There's not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Michigan got away with one there.
And the throw went to Mercury Hayes for a first down and a pickup of 13. Michigan has done a nice job. They've moved it from their own 10-yard line all the way to the Wisconsin 27 and have done so in 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's pretty good.
And the key, I think, is getting the first downs with the throws. Wisconsin is playing a soft zone, making things happen in front of them.
Michigan 2 timeouts remaining. Make the draw to Wheatley. Collins slipped a little bit trying to set up, and now he's brought down by Sala. And Collins will call a timeout with 3:35 left.
I think that's a great timeout in this situation. Michigan is going to have to depend on an onside kick anyway to win this football game. Right now, time is of the essence, and the way they're completing passes, they can't allow 25 seconds to go off the clock.
Florida State hammering Duke. Coach Goldsmith's troops look like they're going to lose their first one in the ACC. Well, this is obviously a big game in the Big Ten today. There was an even bigger one in the Big 8 that we understand is over. Here's a storyline of this one. Todd Collins injured his hip but did return. Darrell Bevel has been the kind of Darrell Bevel we saw last year and this year before he was injured. Very efficient, 161 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the lead 4 times in the first half changed hands. And now Collins, bad hip and all, trying to somehow find a way to get his guys in the end zone and then try to get the ball back and do it again. There's the hit he took in the first quarter.
That was the first series, was it, or second series of the football game? He got hit, had to leave for a while. In fact, Jason Carr did, at the backup quarterback, lead one drive for a touchdown. Wheatley finished it off, but Carr also had an interception, and Collins has gone into the locker room, come back out, and has finished the game, and courageously. I believe he's had a great game.
Wow. Michigan has lost 3 at home since Gary Danielson was a sophomore at high school. Collins looked like he wanted to play action. Instead goes to Toomer, finally getting Amani Toomer involved, and they have it down inside the 10-yard line. Pickup of 18 to number 18. Collins looked like he was looking for somebody to fake the handoff to. Instead just wound up and rifled it down to Toomer.
It's the first time Wisconsin came with a blitz and played man-to-man coverage, and Collins goes right to the guy who should go to Toomer.
When they get down inside the 10, we told you they had trouble when they get in the red zone inside the 20, but get them inside the 10, and then it becomes the best in the Big Ten. That's where they are now. First and goal at the 9-yard line of Wisconsin. Clock running, 3:10 left in the game. Collins flares it out, incomplete. Maybe just as well it was incomplete.
Well, it was for Michigan, and that's funny because I was thinking the same thing. Wisconsin probably would have just as soon had him catch that ball because it would not have been a first down. Donnie Brady was there to make the play. The clock stops again with 3 minutes to go. Obviously, it's going to be, for Michigan standpoint, a need of a touchdown and then an onside kick. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some kind of a draw here to tie Wheatley.
And remember, Remersma has had a career day, including a touchdown down close in the third quarter. Second and goal at the 9. Ty Wheatley is the single setback. Collins, here comes the blitz. Hine had him. Collins got rid of it. Nope, a flag goes down.
Boy, it could have been intentional grounding on this play.
And I think that's going to be the call. Todd Collins pleading his case with Ron Winter, and he might have just lost the argument.
Offense. 5-yard penalty for spot foul. Lost it down.
Hine came in from the backside again. Collins did an excellent job of getting rid of it, but those are the type of plays that you're going to get called for intentional grounding. Nothing you can do about it. It's not really a mistake. It's just the way the game is going on right now. Finally, Wisconsin was able to get some pressure on Collins. He isn't real nimble at this point, and it was Hine again who come in to make the play.
They've been getting pressure from that side,
yes.
Either Sala or Hine coming around the corner. And it brings up a 3rd and goal at the 9-yard line. Barry Alvarez trying to see his troops go to 2-2 on the road this year. This would be a huge win for his team.
Remember, there's not a guy on that Wisconsin sideline that's ever played in this stadium before,
right.
because they hadn't played him for a couple years. Last year, they got him at home. Michigan should be careful. This is start the clock right here, too. They should be at the line of scrimmage.
3:02, whistle blows. Here goes a 3rd down and goal at the 27-yard line. Almost the 28. 18-yard penalty is what that was. So you think you have a 3rd and goal from the 27 in your playbook. We'll find out. Collins, Sala got pressure on him again. He lofts it out for Toomer. Tipped and knocked down. Toomer got his hands on it. But Campbell and Tucker were back there to break it up for Wisconsin.
Ty Wheatley is coming out. It looks to me like he hurt a stinger again to his right shoulder.
Dangling the right arm is Tyrone Wheatley heading to the sideline.
Boy, and that is coming to be a real problem for a guy who gave up a draft pick. Remember, to come back for his senior year, and that right shoulder has been a problem. He's going to try to go with a little alley-oop pass to the corner. Coming across, Melvin Tucker goes up, bats it away. Brady's able to come up and clean it up, or Lamar Campbell's able to come up and clean it up.
Well, it's down to a last chance situation. Michigan takes a timeout. They have 4th and goal at the 27-yard line, and they are out of timeouts. We'll take a timeout as well with 2:55 to play, and Wisconsin trying to upset Michigan here in Ann Arbor.
What am I doing here with you?
You're my brother. It's your genetic obligation to help me.
During the timeout, Wisconsin called a timeout. So we're into our 2nd stoppage of play, and it gives us a chance to check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
And Brad, one of the teams that is highly ranked and unbeaten that was in some trouble, Auburn, putting this one away. Stephen Davis one more time. The pitch to the right, and Auburn runs this real well. 24-yard score. Auburn leads by 10. Full highlights and reaction after the game on the Residence Inn scoreboard.
And that's coming up in about 3 minutes. Right now, let's check in with Adrian on the sideline.
Brad, a near big mistake by the Badger defense here. They didn't look at the down markers closely enough. There's no way Michigan could get a 1st down here. They actually called the timeout because the defense they had selected and called was predicated on Michigan potentially getting a 1st down.
And they got a long way to go. They got to get a touchdown to get a 1st down. Dan McCarney uses the timeout for his defense to get a line. And
yeah, they got their guys out early this time. They're a little bit nervous that Michigan will run their team out there before they get ready and quick snap it. So they got their 11 out there. Let's play.
4th and goal, Michigan at the 28-yard line of Wisconsin.
Clock has started. 25-second clock has started. Michigan is very confused. 2 timeouts, and it looks like half the team doesn't know what to do here.
Well, they don't have another one to call it. They've got to snap it. Hope for a prayer here. Here comes Sala. His 3rd sack.
And Wisconsin has knocked off Michigan unless they fumble the snap. Sala came around the outside, right around Mike Sullivan that time, got a sack on. Here he comes from the outside right here. He's going to come, and Sullivan right there does not get off the ball quick enough. Looks to me like Remersma kind of shielded him on the play as his release, and that's all she wrote.
He'll take another look at Collins going down for the 3rd time at the hands of number 42. About the only drama left for Wisconsin now, if they hold on to the ball, is whether or not Brent Moss ends up with a 100-yard day. He's got it. That should do it. 10 yards from Moss. That'll make 17 straight games that he's had 100 plus, and he knows it. I think he's coming out. Nope, maybe not.
I think they want Moss in there because he holds onto the ball so well in this situation. And the reason there's a timeout on the field you can't see as we look at the Wisconsin bench is one of the Michigan players is hurt, and the official stopped the clock as Trevor Price is going to leave the game.
The last time Wisconsin won in Ann Arbor, I was in first grade. And
1962.
Pat Richter, the athletic director for the Badgers, was playing on what became a Rose Bowl season team for Wisconsin. The last time they were to the Rose Bowl was 62 before last year. And though they don't have a chance to go back this year, this certainly helps them in their bowl hunt because they needed a win. As Gary and I said over, you would think Michigan or Ohio State, ball comes out, already blown dead, that they needed a win over this Michigan team or Ohio State and then try to beat Cincinnati and hope you can take care of Illinois because they had to put 6 wins together to get a bowl game. Well, this is certainly a huge one that they're about ready to pull off here in Ann Arbor. Residents in College Football Scoreboard is coming up. Mike Tirico will have all the scores and highlights from around college football, and Chris and Lee and Craig are down in Lincoln for their take on the big Colorado-Nebraska game. We'll have live reports from Lincoln and State College. Update on the national picture. Auburn struggled a little bit today, but at last report from Mike, starting to put it together now. Then at 4 o'clock, third-round coverage of the PGA Tour Championship from San Francisco. All week long, long faces in Wisconsin, and now the long faces happen to be in Michigan, here in Ann Arbor, because the homecoming is about to be spoiled by the Wisconsin Badgers with 1:54 left. You have to give Todd Collins a lot of credit. Gutty performance on a definite injury that occurred to him early in the first quarter. Tried to play through it. He was not as mobile as he would have been. And that was part of the problem, but Wisconsin's just come out and played excellent football today.
Gary Mueller tried to tell the press here in Michigan that this was a good football team that Wisconsin had offensively, and he was worried about him. He was right. Nobody would listen to him, but he was right.
Fletcher on the carry now with Moss out of there. Steve Morrison makes the tackle, but Michigan cannot stop the clock. They're out of timeouts.
Wisconsin still travels to Ohio State next week. Kind of gets a little bit of a reprieve when Cincinnati comes to town into Madison, a game they obviously will win. Cincinnati has not won a game this year, or a game they should win. And then it's probably going to rest right to that last game. And, you know, I got a feeling that both Illinois and Wisconsin probably will both need that game to go to a bowl
game, which would make it a great lineup, great setup that week. Second down and 11. That's kind of academic now as Darrell Bevel's going to take a knee. Kelly Springfield players of the game for today. From Wisconsin, touchdown Tony. Hey, only 2 catches, but when they both go for touchdowns, give it to him. And from Michigan, Jay Reimers with a big tight end who had a career day. 8 catches, 79 yards, and a score. Kelly Springfield proud to donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund on behalf of those athletes. Well, a happy Wisconsin coach, obviously, on the sideline. Been a tough year, and this will all of a sudden be a bright spot for the Badgers. On a bright and sunny day in Ann Arbor, they're going to pull off an upset of the 11th-ranked team in the country, and that's the final time Darrell Bevel's got to take a knee. Michigan falls to Wisconsin for the 2nd year in a row as the Badgers come into Ann Arbor in front of 106,000 plus and shock the Wolverines. The final score, Wisconsin 31, Michigan 19. For Gary Danielson, Adrian Karsten, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Ann Arbor. We'll see you again next week. Now we're set to send it back to Mike Tirico.